R&B Money. We up. Tank. J Valentine. We are the authorities on all things R&B.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Tank.
I'm J Valentine.
And this this is the R&B Money Podcast.
Yes, it is.
The authority
The one and only.
on all things R&B. As I go into my preacher cadence, I'm reminded of a time being a youngster, desiring to sing, desiring to have the mechanics to be dazzling amongst the people. And there was a man I studied. Come on now. It was a man I watched.
My.
My. There were ingredients that I've stolen from this man that I am not going to give him back. I have taken these ingredients and I've gone on to forge a career of my own. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my heroes in the building, man. That's the best I can say. Get up a Stokley.
Top of the top.
Top of the top. Top of the top.
You want to sing?
Yo, you want to sing?
You want to sing?
You want to sing?
Have you heard real singing?
Have you heard real? Bro, let me tell you something, man. I mean, going back to like being at the Fine Arts building in Howard University, you know what I mean, and like
Howard, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
I was a baby,
know,
like
all right.
He didn't go there though.
I didn't go there.
didn't
I
go,
would
all right.
skip time. I would skip school. I would skip school and come up to Howard.
Okay, all right.
And see guys see two drum sets. See guys going back and forth, two drum sets in the rooms in the basement.
Right.
People at the piano going crazy, and I like it like started there. You know what I mean? And then, bro, you came out singing like I had never heard before, and it had a texture where it was like Stevie reminiscent, but it was completely something new. And I was 100% enamored with it.
Wow.
Every day.
Wow.
To church, drop my mom off,
That's crazy.
pick up my sister, drop my cousin off at Bowie State. Every day.
Wow.
Every day.
Wow.
And people are like, how do you sing like that? I wouldn't tell everybody for a long time. Like, where'd you get that from? Oh, yeah, I know a guy. Right? I wouldn't tell everybody for a long
Taking
time.
it back to the church people.
and take it back to the church.
Yeah, it's funny.
And they'd be like, where did you get? Because of course they knew of John. You know what I'm saying? They knew I loved John. They knew of Fred. They knew I loved Fred.
Yeah,
They knew Mitchell Jones. They knew I loved Mitchell Jones. They didn't know about that Stokley.
Wow. To be mentioned with them, first of all, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, no, you're in a heavy room.
And that's
Very heavy.
Fred and all, come on.
Heavy room.
Come on.
What we like to do, right? I hate it. I just wanted to start off there and just give you just a perspective on just what you mean to me, because it's very real and it's a very big deal. You know what I mean? So I want to say thank you. I think every time I see you, I tell you this, but I'm not going to stop telling you. You know what I'm saying? Every time I see you, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, your vocal. You know, I'm gonna say you every time because I just think that even for our platform in creating this, you know what I mean? We want to make sure. I said something earlier that the guys who are well studied, even the women who did this that way, like we couldn't skip no steps.
No.
Not a one. Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure you guys recorded on 2-inch.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
You were a 2-inch guy.
That's right.
And then finally the task
You got to go
came.
cut the tape.
Finally the ADAT came.
Oh, yeah. I used to actually cut tape, edit. Yeah, that's right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Wasn't one button.
No.
It was the real, yeah.
It wasn't the B section sound good. We might as well fly the B section.
That's right.
Are you sure?
We're going to lunch.
You got to commit.
We're going to lunch.
It's a commitment. Ain't no
You gotta take a lunch.
That's right.
You gotta take a lunch to fly backgrounds.
That's right.
And you could run out of tracks.
That's right. Right? You can run out.
You could run out. So you have to be amazing right in here.
It's like your planning's got to be on point, you know. You
Way
gotta commit.
before pitch correction. I'm gonna let you talk, but I'm still celebrating you right now. Way before pitch correction. Auto-tune and what's the other one? Melodyne.
Right.
You just got to do it 10 more times.
Hey. Which is a little bit of extra rehearsal. There you go, a little practice.
And then there's
And
that.
then there's that.
Yeah.
He came from the era of 8 to 10 hour rehearsals. Mm-hmm. That's how he grew up.
Not by choice.
Yeah.
Not by choice, man.
Yeah, but it made you the man.
Thanks, Dad. Thanks.
The school of Michael Jackson.
But it worked.
You
I've survived.
absolutely.
You know?
I've survived.
No, you've thrived, brother. And
Right.
and those are the things, those are the differences that are sometimes it's hard to articulate the why, but you know, when the rubber meets the road, those instincts of what you've learned and what you've really had to where you've really been battle tested, that's where that just kicks in and you float.
That's right.
All right, Stoke, this is about you.
No, man. This is about us. First of all, standing ovation. I'm standing up right now. J Valentine, thank you for doing this.
Yes, sir.
Y'all people got to know this is an amazing. I watch your show. It's a cross section of people older than this. Like you are bringing it all together, man. We need this forum. We need this kind of platform.
Yeah.
To tell the stories, to share, to pass on.
Yes, sir.
Because this is, the younger generation. It's a different. They're great. Everybody's great, but there's some information that's missing. Mm-hmm. This is like a bridge.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, here to serve.
Yeah.
Stokley, we are historical pod. Historical.
All right.
We don't get into the archives of Stokley, like the beginning.
Yeah.
When was it identified?
That place.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
St.
Listen,
Paul.
Minnesota, boy.
It's cold. You thought it's cold in the deep.
But
Boy,
it's some cold things too.
Nah.
Minnesota, baby.
Hey, listen.
Minnesota. It's slept on.
Shout out to Brother Wendell. Shout out to Brother Wendell Muhammad, who's passed on. We were riding through Minneapolis one day, and it was below zero. And I don't know how this is gonna come off, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
Oh man.
But we were riding through Minneapolis, and there were ladies of the night on the street corner
Wow.
at 4 below, walking the walk and talking the talk.
Getting it in.
And Brother Wendell Muhammad says a woman with that kind of dedication
Wow.
could run this country. That type of dedication?
Yeah, it's a different kind of code.
Oh yeah, it's a different type of code.
It's a different kind of
It's a
Arctic
different kind of code.
we
wind going
were
on.
counting before we got out of the car. I was like, okay, on three,
Yeah.
we're gonna get out. And just,
Oh, yeah.
tell them open the door. Tell them open.
That is
Tell
real.
them open.
That is so real. That is so real right
Yeah,
there.
take us back,
Yeah.
man. Take us back.
Take us back to
please.
where you first found it, or it first found you.
Oh man, it was one of those things. My parents, 70s, both my parents are educators. So we talk about history. My dad's, his history teacher. Anything to do with black folk, loving on black folks, that kind of, whether it be sports, politics, entertainment, etc. And my mother, English, all that stuff. So I grew up a little bit different. So I had, my father had all these people around him. And when I was like 3 or 4, they would go back. They started going to Ghana, going to Africa back and forth. So they'd bring all these things back, and they trade clothes, and then, continental Africans would give them, stuff back. And father had some bongos on the wall. I was about 3, And don't know how I got up and got him off the wall, whatever. It's much, it's still a mystery to me. I don't know. Somehow I got up there, started playing Their Sleep. And as my father tells me, because I don't really remember it, he said it sounded like somebody knew what they were doing. They were playing actual patterns. And he was like, what is that noise? They're both asleep. You hear that? He was like, I don't hear anything. My mom was like, I don't hear nothing. And they got up, he was like, wow, this dude is in here playing. So he had a friend who had this African dance troupe, Aberdeen, his brother from Panama. And he said, I don't know him. It's that. I don't know if this is good or not. You let me know. He said, oh, yeah, dude, it's good. I'll take him with me. So at about 3. So it actually, no, I was 4. I was 4, actually. It was 4. So because there's a whole thing in the paper, local paper at home. My first gig was First Bank in Minneapolis, standing on the steel, folding chair playing congas with this African dance troupe, and that was the beginning of it all for me. Just at 4, yeah. My little daishiki and my little afro.
Yeah. You was all the way in. You was all the way in. My brother.
I was in it. I was in it, yeah. So from there, man, that was just kind of my thing. And at that time, too, there was a lot of groups like that. I ended up playing for a lot of poets, things like that. So that was like a thing. You go in the park, you see brothers playing congas in the park, and, that kind of thing.
So if they had like a little baby in Love Jones.
Yeah,
that would be you.
That's pretty much, man. Revolutionary child,
So let me interrupt real quick. So you say congas.
It's really conga. But brothers in the hood, you say congas. It's really congas.
Okay, so I'm from D.C.
Yeah.
We say congos.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, y'all say congos,
We
right?
say congos in the Bay too, though.
You say congos in the Bay?
So as he's saying it, I'm like, I know what he's talking about.
Right. Yeah.
We say congos. We put O.
But I'm looking at the
put
spelling in my head. I'm like, I don't spell that way, but I'm looking at the spelling in my head. I'm like, it is congas too.
Yeah. Congas,
congas.
and it's like congas and bongos infused. So it's like congos.
Yeah.
Bongos.
It's just the hood,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So one's
It's
big
the
and
hood.
one, yeah.
So yeah, we was like out in DC, like Go Mickey on the Congos, he killing.
Yeah.
Like that was our. We had our little tribal thing. Yeah, our tribal movement. So yeah.
We was like congas. Like where is a U? Ain't no U in it. So yeah, man. But that was the beginning. So I had, with that Aberdeen group. Later on, there was another group I played with, instrumental in my development, Black Arts Midwest. In this place, there was a space where they would have all these kids come in the neighborhood, and it was a place called Inner City Youth League. So they had a studio in there. They had where they teach like art class. I was involved in that, martial arts, everything. They had people speaking, just teaching all kind of classes there. So it was a place for young kids to go and just kind of get right, And later on, there's another group, Uchawi Dancers. We played at the Renaissance Festival a lot, So I pretty much, that was all those, I call them Africanisms, was instilled in me very young. I was
and the percussion side is really developed.
Yeah,
at this time too for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was instilled in me very young, and I was halfway homeschooled and didn't know it.
Were you being paid too? Did you make some money too? Get a couple dollars?
Oh yeah, a little bit. I be
wanting to know. I want to know what the money is.
Look at that $25. Oh, I'm killing them right now.
Now my pops, it was $12.75. Remember that check? I'll never forget it. Yeah. And I was like, I'm get a whole bunch of candy. Like, we're gonna open up an account. I was like, what? Account? I was like, how much candy I can get with that?
How much candy? Yeah, because I didn't get paid for none of my street performing, but it's like, whatever.
$12.75.
What they say, Fisherman's Wharf owes me nothing.
Oh my goodness, yeah, man.
So you're playing congas. You playing all three of them. You play all three of those until about what age?
So that started at 4, and then I was 10, 11, 12.
Oh, you putting in years.
Yeah, so that's when I was being a kid, playing sports and all that stuff in between, of course. And at the same time, there's so many things happening at the same time. You know how you go through life and you go through phases when you're a kid, and you go through sports and football and basketball and track and all that. And so at the same time, I'm listening all these records. You know, my dad, I would hear Malcolm X, and I'd hear Aretha Franklin, and I'd hear Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, all these different things. You know, just all the branches of the tree of black music. You know, all these genres that we've created, and I'm like, wow, it's in you. Mm-hmm. You hear music, and I didn't know that how it's affecting me. My aunt was the musical director at a church, so I never sang in church. I played, but so I mean, I was, my ear was pretty good even back then. I was like, man, that spirit just never left, and you know how that is. It just, of course, gets in you, and that whole spirit of it. So all that.
Did anyone know you could sing?
No.
No,
so the singing came. So the singing, I was a mimicker. As far as the cat who did it for me was Al Green, vocally. That was He's like 20 different people in one side, one body. You know what I mean? He's just the cat. So I was always mimicking and that kind of thing. So, but it wasn't until I got to high school, and we were talking about your friend who went to high school in Minnesota. I don't know if we went to Central. So, and Central had. It was something called the Magnet Arts program. So I would liken it to like the LaGuardia performing arts.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So it had a little bit of everything in there. Had a studio in there, had a steel drum orchestra, which that guy ended up being a great mentor to me, rest in peace, Cliff Alexis Sr. And those things really helped shape me. And so what I did, there were two classes you could take for the studio session. One was more engineering, and the other class was they put you with different people play different genres. So the R&B dudes would be, it's like we put you with the rock dudes just so you can kind of expand your mind a little bit. So it was like, I didn't want to play. It's like, I want to learn how to actually push buttons on the knobs on the engineering side, so then I can record my own stuff.
Yeah.
And my, the biggest dream was like, I just want a 4-track, a keyboard, and a little drum machine. That was just, that was the dream. You know what I mean? And so I had a little Tascam 688, got in there and started making beats, making stuff. And it was just like, and to be honest with you, stacking vocals and that's really what helped me sing. I felt
you
like
doing that in high school?
In high school, yes.
Okay.
I felt like I met myself for the first time hearing that. I was like, oh, wow, that's me. So I could just stack it. It's just, okay, wow. So not just the singing, but learning the process of creating, just all the frequencies, all the things you can do, bouncing. You got 4 tracks, you do 3 tracks, bounce those 3 to the 4, and then do some, all that kind of stuff. So it's really, that process helped shape me. You know what I mean? And then, I had all these instruments around, and not a, more of an ear player. If I can, pick stuff up, keys or guitar, bass, that kind of stuff. But that's really the thing that really helped shape me with the records. And then so it was an amazing time, And then, like I said, my mentor, what little bit of theory that I have, Cliff Alexis, I learned off of steel pan, And that was just that instrument. It just blew my mind. I was like, wow. So you just took like a 55-gallon oil drum, cut it in different shapes and sizes, and you're going to make a cello voice, you're going to make a guitar voice. I mean, I was gone.
As you're talking, I'm like hearing all of the influences. I'm hearing all of it.
Yeah.
Through the instrument.
Through all the things, all the instruments and all the places he's been. I'm hearing the songs, I'm hearing the interludes. I'm hearing all of them, like, because a lot of it was going to be why. Now,
I see.
You get it.
Okay.
You get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
It was all that stuff, and it's it just that continues, and like, man, I'm still discovering all that. The older you get, you're like, oh, that's what that was.
So how many instruments are you into at this point while you're in high school?
Basically, it was, of course, all the percussion stuff. I had some piano instruction, off and on. But that was basically the guitar and stuff, and that came later, just from dinking around in the basement. Every band that I played in, I was pretty much the youngest guy. Most of the bands.
You always play drums.
Always played drums. But all the every band I played with, most of the bands would rehearse in my parents' basement, so all the instruments were left down there. So I was like, what was that he was playing earlier? You know,
Yeah.
What was that? What, you know,
Yeah.
I would just get on the next thing, and then the next thing you know, I started picking up different phrases, and just started expanding my vocabulary.
So your parents opened up your home to it too.
I don't know how they did that, because it was loud and some of it was wrong.
Right. I mean, it starts there.
Yes, I remember my dad told me one time, he was like, yeah, what was that song? I was like, oh, ugly music. I was like, oh.
I'm going to start using that. I hear so much ugly music.
Ugly music.
Man, man.
You done started
man,
something.
you done told me something, man.
Yeah, he came and played me a bunch of ugly
That was,
music.
yeah. I mean, that was much later.
I've been called him ugly ass music too. That ugly ass music,
boy. Ugly boy ass music.
You're in these groups.
God. Yeah.
You're playing.
And I know I'm skipping around.
No. Man, listen, this is your platform. We want to hear your story.
Mm.
You're playing in these groups. At what point do you discover the voice?
And
do they discover the voice? Like,
well, in high school is when I discovered it, but I still didn't really take it that serious like that. I remember, so everybody from Mint, except for Rick from Chicago, went through Central High School. And the first person I met there was Homer Odell, guitar player from Mint. And we were both in the studio, both in Cliff Alexis steel drum class. And Homer Odell has just a gift he's a natural engineer. He knows ins and outs. And I actually learned more from him than I did an actual instructor at school, So, right. And that whole thing continued through, to today. So, it just, man, that was a pivotal point for me, just where discovering all of that. And actually, when I would have these little compositions, and Homer would be like, yo, man, I never heard nobody do anything that good in this school like this. Like, so he was I was like, really? Because you don't know what you're doing. You just moving, just exploring, whatever's coming, you're exploring. So I was like, well, okay, I'm gonna keep on, just creating and creating. It wasn't until, I don't know, later on, my thing was like I was playing drums and doing a lot of background singing. I was fine with that. That was great. I love harmonizing, that kind of thing, but how should I go with this? I'm trying to get so much. You guys asked me stuff I hadn't thought about in a minute. So I have to switch to the beginnings of infancy stage of Mint.
Okay.
So this is after high school, trying to figure out what the hell we're going to do. I went to Northern Illinois University just to see if I wanted to go, because Cliff Alexis, my mentor, was going to teach there. And I was like, oh, okay. Maybe not. I'm going to take 1 year and see what I can do. So I was working and that kind of thing. So in between that, we put together our thing, and I wasn't singing. I was playing drums. There was this other guy who was paying for the rehearsal space that we had. And he was singing. He wasn't a singer, but he just, the whole Prince thing was going on. And he had this long weave. Nothing. The rest of it was just afro, and that's like all of a sudden it just weaves. Anyway, another story. And he
was breed.
He was breed. He was breed. I heard the face. Yeah. He was breeding all the way.
The first thing I was thinking too. Kind of sound breed, but it sound a little wild.
You ain't breed enough. Yeah, he was breed all the way. But he wasn't. He could scream like Prince and all that thing, but something. It was some point where it's like, you know what? You guys got it. I'll just keep paying for the space, and y'all just keep, just come back and get me when when y'all make it, that kind of thing. So,
that's what he said.
Yeah, that's what he said. And
it wasn't worth his time.
I guess, I don't know. And I'm like, well, who's gonna sing? We need singing, that kind of thing. And I said, well, I'll do it. Active Fool's pretty athletic, that kind of thing. And that's where it started. And that was like 1900. And I got to put the 100 on it. It's back in the 1900s. 1900s, man. 1986. So that was the beginning of it.
That was the beginning of you singing lead.
That was the beginning of it, of singing lead. That was the first time I had.
So were you singing from the drums?
No, I went up and left the drums. We got another drummer from high school. His name was Kenny Young, and he was the drummer. I went up front, and we just started putting it together, man.
I know how drummers are. Were you better than him?
I was nice then. We was coming up together at that time.
Because there are tales of your niceness.
But I had a few different gears, just because I wasn't like every other drummer, just starting from percussion, the background that I had.
Yeah.
They would always like, where are you pulling that from?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like, I could name some of the rhythms that it's just, everybody just plays it, but I'm like, I know what that is, man. That's Manjani. That's okay. Whatever that, like, what was that? So I had it was just different.
Yeah.
Better, I don't know. That's for somebody else to say. I don't know. It was.
But it was working. He was doing what he was supposed to do.
He was doing, yeah.
Okay.
He got the job done. And so I went up front. And at that time, it was very, the whole Prince thing was going on, the whole Minneapolis thing. It was very competitive. So what you see, like Purple Rain, that was actually happening.
That's real.
It's a real thing, you better kick down it, kick your ass down, you better sound good. So everything was like, you had to play, and you had to step. You called it stepping. Are they stepping? You know what I mean? Like a little choreography with it. So it's like all three things. It's like wasn't a keyboard player.
It's
like
full performance.
It was a show, and that's where we learned how to put on a full. It's like the artistic thing came together, because it was always like that age-old argument: are you going to be an artist or an entertainer? Mm-hmm. So
there's a difference.
There's a difference. But I think I was always definitely into the art of it. It was like, why can't you while you're putting that together, have some showmanship too, to keep people's attention,
Mm-hmm.
And that's where all that came from. And in Minnesota, it seemed like a lot of the audience, we never thought it's like, man, we're not doing enough. Because the response there, I think it would go over people's heads. We play all this music and shit, and it was just like, are we not doing enough? So, okay, maybe we need to do something visually, to get some kind of feedback. And we didn't realize that we were doing more than enough until we got outside of we went to going to New York or Chicago. Like, oh, this is great, So, okay, so this actually means something, what we're putting together.
Yeah.
But it actually really worked. I'm really thankful that they didn't give that immediate love back to us, because it helped put together the show. It helped put, just like develop in a different way. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And yeah, man. So all that really was just, it was a pivotal moment. The first Mint Condition gig, I have to say. So y'all been to the Mall of America?
Yes.
So
I rode a roller coaster at the Mall of America.
Okay.
There was a
mall. There was a place called the Carlton Celebrity Room, and that was our first gig, first show, and that's where the mall is right now.
Yeah.
And so
the Wings of Fire at
the mall.
Yeah.
Where was the spot?
At Hooters.
Oh.
The Wings was fire, bro. I just remembered.
He thought you about the name of a spot.
No.
Yeah. Hooters.
That's
where I was.
I get that. The shrimp is nice there. The shrimp. Yeah, the buffalo shrimp is nice.
I know you know.
Buffalo shrimp is
I've had those.
Yeah.
Hooters in Virginia. But yeah, let's keep going.
It's really nice. But yeah, so that's where the mall sits now. That was my 1986. That was my first singing show with Mint, and that was Mint's first outing.
Were you guys called Mint Condition?
Yeah, Mint Condition. Yeah,
from the rip.
Yeah, from the rip. Yeah, we put the names in there, and trying to figure out what we wanted.
And the group was created in high school first.
Yeah, so it had a couple different iterations, but we say in 1989 was really the core. We really got it going. Mm-hmm. Then the guy Kenny, the drummer, he was in honors, another cat from Milwaukee who played bass, and who am I forgetting? Don't kill me now. It's been a minute. And of course Roger Troutman's son, Roger Lynch. He was 13 when I met him. Amazing.
Oh, wow. Well, y'all had Roger Troutman's son in the group?
Yeah, Roger Lynch. Yeah, rest in peace. He's passed on, but yeah, he was amazing talent. So, he went off to do some stuff with his father at some point. So we had lost him, and the two gentlemen coming behind him. Kenny, something happened to Kenny too. So we lost the drummer. You know, he went off and did whatever. And Kerry Lewis and Jeff Allen were the next one. They were younger than us, about a year or two. And I was like, why don't we just get them? You know, and Kerry doing some amazing stuff in the studio.
And it's
like
all coming through the school.
All coming through that St. Paul Central.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a lot of talent there, a lot of people doing amazing things. So that's what we call the core of mint condition as we know it, as the world knows it. And yeah, that was the first.
How did you feel for your first time singing lead in front of how many people? 200-300 people?
Well, the first time, that first show was probably 1,800 people.
Oh shit! Oh, you jumped right into the
First
fire.
show.
It was whatever. Yeah, it was a big room.
Yeah,
it was a big room. I think that we only played like maybe 10, 15 minutes, like 3 songs. It was a blur. You know, I think I was so hyped, and there's footage of it. It's my curl and everything.
You was Bree.
I was Bree too. I had the asymmetrical cutting back and the whole thing. Yeah. All right, our outfits was crazy. I mean, we was real Bree, so we had.
I need the footage.
It's out there. It's outside. I'm putting myself out there. But it is, yeah. I mean, it's how we all got here. So it's our outfit. It looked like something from Star Trek. Black and gold had like these fringes cut. One looked like it was this faux leather. The other side was just net. Net. For some reason, I don't know.
Like
some
the
of us
shirts that the Jamaicans be wearing.
Yeah, just net. One whole leg was net. The other one was
a net leg.
And for some reason, some of us was like, yeah, let's just go all the way, man. No draws.
No. That's not where I thought this was going.
No, it's like, I'm just saying.
You might as well rock out.
We went
like
rock
a
out,
cold Minnesota night.
We had to rock out when I comes out.
So I had it's like we just going for it. Trying to find the edge, trying to find the ledge.
Great.
Everybody at the time was, Jesse Johnson. Remember the Jets?
Yeah.
That big, a lot of people, man. It was just like, I just remember we started with our
It was just
backs
a thing.
to the audience.
It was just a thing out there in Minnesota. It was just like, how far can we push it?
How far? Well, if you think back too, this was happening everywhere. Everybody had like
y'all was at another level though.
It
was on another level because for sure.
Y'all were the
Prince,
epicenter.
Prince had the the chaps on, man. Like y'all took it there.
At a certain point, Prince just took his clothes off. He just said, y'all want to go see how far I go?
Right.
Bring the horse. I'm sure how far I'm
going. So was there pressure in a sense in Minnesota? Like this is what we own. Like I'm from Minnesota. It's like if you was from California in the 80s, you had a Jerry curl.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's what it is.
Yeah.
Dark shades and a Raiders jacket.
My whole family, everybody had to have a curl.
I remember that.
You know what I mean? Like so, that's what I'm saying by that.
Yeah.
Like with being from Minnesota, it's just like, well, because you even said it in the first performances. It's like, are we even doing enough?
Right. Yeah.
Because they pushing the limits out here.
Right.
Yeah. But that was more when I said I felt like we wasn't doing enough. It just seemed like what we were doing, the applause didn't match. It's like we felt like we.
Y'all didn't have no shock value yet.
Yeah. I think that. Yeah. That's what it was. Probably. I'm like, we need something else.
So one of the homies said the net pants with the.
It was. I don't even know how it would be. We was just going there, and at the time too. So, the person who made, if you look at the Rude Boy, how Prince had it was one of the outfits that he had on. Was it the Controversy album? There was a lady who actually made his clothes. She used to actually manage us, so she sold those, and that was that's Andre Simone's sister, Sylvia, and shout out Sylvia. And so it was. We were going there, man.
We need to get her on the podcast.
That was.
Show us the blueprint.
So she made Prince's clothes and managed mint condition.
Yeah.
Wow,
you are a legend.
Goat.
Yeah, she was something else. Just amazing. So, that was a moment. And looking back at that footage, and I'm like, oh, what was we on? It was.
You was on what you needed to be on at the time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
But you guys aren't signed to Jam and Lewis yet.
No. So check it out. They were in the audience.
At that first show.
At that first show, they were there. So now
first show, Jam and Lewis in the audience.
That's right. I mean, you're talking about who's who in Minneapolis, the whole thing. And mind you, at that time, Minneapolis was so hot, like people were coming from everywhere, to be in Minneapolis. People from LA, New York, Chicago, they were coming. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy, man. So yeah, they're there. And I remember Sylvia, our manager at the time, had asked Terry, well, what do you think? I always tease Terry about it. No, I was like, and he was like, well, they need work. I was like, okay, yeah. We thought I don't know what we thought. It was, like I said, it was a blur to me. It was just like, I was just so hyped. And it was just, let's just go out here and do it. And that was it. Just leave it alone. Those notes is gone. Can't do anything. Don't think about, I should have did this. That was it. So, yeah, it was something, man. So the footage is out there.
No worry. We're going to find
it. I know. It ain't hard. It ain't hard to find. It ain't hard to find.
So how do you get from they need work to we should sign them?
So from there are a few things that happened. I was always very active playing in different bands, and one time I was maybe in 8-9 different bands at one time. Just love playing.
Yeah.
And playing drums, that kind of thing. And we're trying to put together demos and that kind of thing. It was interrupted in, I would say, 1988, 87, 88. I had gotten a call from a friend to do this tour with opening for, I was playing for this guy named George Pettis. Mm-hmm. And we were going to be opening for Whitney. And it was an expansive, just a huge tour in Europe, Moment of Truth tour. And so that took me out for about, 3-4 months, whatever it was. And that was an amazing experience, just get to really see on that level.
Yeah. See the world, yeah.
To see, not only the world, but just to watch her.
Okay.
To watch the musicians.
Mm-hmm. You see, what year is this?
This was like 87, 87, 88.
Whitney Houston, 87, 88?
Yeah.
She was all the way up.
How will I know? Yeah, it was the Whitney that we know and love, and all of that. And it was amazing. Still thinking about it now. I have some vivid memories of us, and at the end of the tour singing with her, that kind of just jam session kind of thing. And so many people that I met, some people I see on TV that are executives now. I'm like, wow, how people move in this industry. I'm like, it's amazing to see that. But that was a great experience for me, just to see how it's done. How they're moving, how the business and back, because I was always very aware and keen on that. It's like, what are they doing? Okay, after you get off stage, what do you do? How do they, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So it was just really, really great time. So there was that comeback to Minneapolis, St. Paul, and we start put together a demo of 4 songs. Pretty Brown Eyes was one of them. And
that was one of the songs.
That was one of the songs. Yeah. Actually, all 4 songs were on the first album. But the funny thing is, like, a lot of executives, we took them to MCA, we took them to, a lot of different labels. And matter of fact, we came out here in. Actually, I need to back up. This was before the core that you know. So with Kenny Young and Roger Lynch, I should say. We actually came out here before. It was 86, so the year after graduating, in search of a deal. Mm-hmm. And we had these songs, and like, man, this is good stuff, man. But everybody would ask us, well, why are you here? And we're like, what do you mean? Everything's happening back in Minneapolis, because it was like, wow, but this is LA, so, And but you probably need to go back home, and it's like, wow. So that was kind of crazy. So we stayed out here. We were in Altadena, staying with a friend of a friend, and got my wallet stolen and everything. We just like had to. This is a mess, and so I had to mention that just because that trip here, we were knocking on A&M's doors. Mm-hmm. Actually saw Jam and Lewis. So Jam, out in West. What's it called? West is a place by UCLA called
Westwood.
Westwood. It is Westwood. Okay, yeah. And it was kind of, how you see somebody in a different place and you're like, I know you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he knew we say, hey, Jam, blah, blah, blah. We're out here trying to search a deal. It's like, okay, yeah, cool. It was just kind of like the little brush off thing. But, he meant well, but he was just like, man. And then we got home, He was like, we seen him again. He was like, I knew y'all. I was like, I'm sorry, you just were out of place. It just didn't, didn't put it together. So, yeah, we were knocking on A&M's doors, seeing Jam and them out here. And then, so fast forward again back to creating the demo, excuse me. And we had those 4 songs. And everybody was like, well, we don't hear it singing. We don't hear it. That kind of thing. So we started sending out.
Pretty Brown.
Pretty Brown was on there. Yeah. And at that, the demo is still, for me, still better than the actual album. It's like, the demo was like 8 minutes long. We were all the way. It was just like really, really spiritual. It was just, I remember having the lights off in the little rehearsal space, and it was just, it was a thing. And so we, those 4 songs were on there, man. And we decided to put together like a little package. And then we invited people. We invited Prince out, somebody from MCA, Jam and Lewis. And we played at First Avenue. It's the club made famous by Purple Rain Prince. Mm-hmm. And so we did that. And we used to start the show off with Pretty Brown Eyes, because it was just one of those things that capture your attention. You're like, gang.
Yeah.
What
it's a call out.
I almost scare you. You know what I mean?
Call out.
Yeah. And
like a parent concerned about the child. Who did that?
Right. Yeah, and then it started off, and that was it. So we did it. It was a showcase. Didn't really
Who was playing the drums then?
That was that was a gentleman by the name of Michael Bland, Prince drummer.
I know him.
Yeah. So he was actually supposed to be a part of the group, but Prince had asked him at the same time, so he went to go do the New Power Generation with Prince. There's so many things that some stories.
Who wrote Pretty Brown Eyes?
So that was we were all in a rehearsal session. So Lawrence, Jeffrey, and myself. Yeah, I started humming na 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 na, and just one of those things. Just kind of the lyrics coming. It was really simple, and just kind of as we kept playing it, started adding parts and making it more dynamic. So by the time we got to the studio, it was it was almost like you're bringing the stage to the studio. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of a lot of times you recording music,
and trying to figure out how to get it on stage.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So I think with recording, that is a more honest way from. In the essence, that's what you're trying to capture a moment, trying to capture a performance. That's where recordings came from, I think. Capturing somebody live.
Right.
And now we do it in a more contrived way. We try to perfect a great moment over and over.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
As my grandfather would say, ass backwards.
You know what I mean? Pretty much. So it's cool, but that's what we do now. So that's what we captured, and I think that's. Even when we actually went in and did it in the studio, it still captured. There was something with that about that song, about the vibration of it, the notes, the chords, just the emotion of it, and just it transcended. It was definitely much bigger than us. So the effect that it still has impact. So I'm really thankful for that.
An amazing impact.
Yeah, man. So,
every night.
Wow. Yeah, that's.
It don't matter where you at. When that record comes on, you stop. If it comes on while you're listening to the radio, you do not change. You turn up.
You turn up.
It's one of those.
It's crazy because somebody's like, "How do you feel when you dance?" I wish I knew. It's gonna sound weird. What I sounded like. I hear me sometimes. I can't explain it. I wish I knew what people hear. Because I don't.
Well, you should probably look on the internet to see them trying to sing it. You see them trying to sing it, that's what they hear. But it ain't you.
And I hear it's like I wish I knew what they were hearing when they hear the song.
Pretty Brown Eyes challenge coming soon. I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
And you will see.
Yeah. And I didn't mean to throw you off from where you were talking about the showcase.
Yeah.
Because I definitely. Yeah. I gotta hear the full story of how that you got Prince in the house.
Yes, he brought a representative out. So he said, bring the tape back. I'd rather see them than hear, because he's definitely about visual. And I remember at the end of the performance, I was walking to my car. Across the street, I see Jam and Lewis, and they were like, "Hey, Stoke, hey," I said, "Great job. We'll talk next week." I was like. I can't even think anything of it because at that time it was like, people say stuff and, I'm just glad that they came out, And about a week or two later, we're in Flight Time Studio in the conference room, like, what do y'all want to do? I was like, we want to make records and, we'd like to produce at least half the albums. And they're like, well, you guys can do the whole damn thing if you want. And we were like, what? Word, okay, yeah. But I'm sure they knew what it was coming from a band, being in a band.
Yeah,
want to express yourself. They're like, we get it. We got you. And that was the beginning of the whole.
Were there other offers from that night, or were they their only offer?
Prince, he thought they were really good, but there wasn't, he had so much going on at the time, I think. So we didn't really hear anything back. MCA, I think, was more, they were like, well, there's so many groups like that at the time, the kind of Minneapolis kind of vibe.
Who, though?
Well, I could tell that there's like, oh man, there were so many people who had that.
Not out.
If you think about the 80s, from my perspective at least, it was like when you heard, I was listening to Face talk about the influence, the Minneapolis thing, and being breed and that kind of, and just there was a sound, the Oberheim DMX drum machine, the keyboard stabs, that kind, all these, there was a moment. And I think Minneapolis had, in my opinion, a lot to do with that. Just how
I think you guys.
I
think as it pertains to the area, it was absolutely more so an influx of it. But as it pertained to the industry, from outside looking in, there was no mint condition.
I had never seen anything like mint condition.
There was no mint condition.
I feel like I've seen a lot in this music business.
Yeah,
I had never seen a mint condition. Me personally,
at all.
It's interesting. It's funny.
I mean, still, I feel like y'all are 101.
Yeah,
to this day.
I think so. It's when we were coming in, you got to remember it was changing because people were trying to be more cost effective. So bands were on the way out.
Yeah.
So we're the oddball out. So Jodeci, Boyz II Men, all the it was a moment because I remember all these radio stations we would go to, their thing was, can we sing for you? Can we sing for you? It was like that was the thing. Because I think it was, who was it? Michael Bivins was telling the story of how a group or somebody was like, well, how did you got put on where they sang for you, that kind of thing. So everybody started doing that, but we were like, okay, we're a band, they have this whole thing,
Yeah.
So we kind of got caught up in that until we started distancing ourselves away from, the rest of the pack. They're like, oh, you guys are actually sing, but you're actual band, you're self-contained. But that's what we saw, growing up, that's what we wanted to be. You seen
how many members?
Ohio players, Earth, Wind, et cetera, et cetera.
How many members were in the group?
6.
Six guys.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's myself, Home Rodell, Rick Kinchin, Jeffrey Allen, and I'm not forgetting, because we used to hire drummers, so we need to do 6, wait a minute. Jeff, Rick, Home Rodell, Lawrence Whitedale, myself, is that 6? I can't count.
I'm watching y'all. I'm like this. I'm gonna interject at some point, but
well, let me make sure I'm at. Yeah, is that right? Yeah, me.
Is that right?
Is that right? Jeff, Larry, Odell, Rick, and Kerry. Kerry Lewis. Yeah, of course. So
how does the business of that work?
Well, the best way, to me, and for all of us, because we've seen, the great bands, the thing that broke those bands up was economics, of course. We've seen the great horn bands go from 10 to 8 to 5 to 3. And at some point, just time moves on, and it's just, you can't compete with that, the economics of life and, the things that you need. And if your shit ain't hitting,
that's when the
conversation gets funny. Yeah, that's what. So
So
the best way to do that
evenly?
is to split it, yeah. And I'm like, you know what? It'll work itself out. And we just really committed. And at that time, we were really artists.
Right.
You know what I mean? For art's sake,
sure.
we just really wanted to.
Yeah.
And everything will take care of itself. We just really cared about the music, man.
So you weren't Tyrese. That's my brother. I love him. He know what it is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Tyrese hit us with the, my market share. Tyrese hit us with the market share. My market share. How you doing the market share, man? My value in the market.
No, but that's a very unlead singer
For sure.
answer.
Absolutely.
But okay,
Most
so
lead singers gonna get into the hey man.
But he's a musician.
He's a musician. No. I get it.
Right.
So he
I
has-
get
I
it.
have that mentality. I didn't get it. So my
sensibilities.
mentality
Yeah.
was that of a musician was like it's more communal, and not only
Yeah.
that, that's how I grew up. You know, I have parents who that was what we did. Kwanzaa, we used to do all that stuff.
share.
Before it was popular, people start. You know what I mean? That's when it was like really real. We go to these houses, and so that was in me. Still is. You know what I mean? That's you know. So it was nothing. But again, it was. I wasn't really thinking about the money, that kind of thing. It's like, that'll happen.
Yeah.
You know, do what we got to do. Just create it, and they'll come. You know, and we did all right. You know, and it just, to me, it started to be a situation where it's like, you know, show that cats can work together and build something, sustain something, you know, and so the younger artists would come and like, how did you do that? It's like, well, you split it.
Easy
Right.
conversation.
Dollar
You know what I
come
mean?
in, you split it.
That's
Yeah.
what it is. And then when you go out and on the road and do what we do. And it was not a big thing. So yeah, that was
salute
I know
to
when I
y'all,
tell
man.
people, they're like, really? And I get it. You know what I mean? It's
I'm a band guy.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
And you know,
yeah.
and another important thing we always say is I played sports. He
That's-
played sports.
Yeah, there's a difference.
So team
play sports.
concept.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That we understand that very well in terms
Yeah.
of getting to the win.
Right.
Yeah.
And
We
creating
understand
the
it.
fist.
There
Absolutely.
are there are roles that have to be played.
Absolutely.
And everybody has to, you know, staying in your lane, you know what I mean? Although you can equate it to the highway, you know, that's the kickoff in football.
Right.
You stay in your lane, right? And as long as everybody's running this way,
Right.
that guy can't pick you. He doesn't know which way to go because everybody's covering ground.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
The same
saying?
way.
But if this guy starts to slide over here and this guy slides with him, and all of a sudden he leaves the outside exposed.
Right.
Now somebody's going the other way on you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so with team, it's like you
Yeah, that concept.
it's okay that somebody, one of these 11 players running this lane, I'm happy with either one of them getting that tackle. Just as long as somebody gets that damn tackle.
That's right.
Yeah.
We all win that way.
We all win that way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that, you know, when we were doing the TGT thing, I was like, man, we should just split it. You know what I'm saying? And then Ty was like, my market share. You know what I'm saying? And it was like Fast and Furious, and then Transforming with the Transformers. I mean, and he did have a lot of market share.
And then they broke
up.
up. You hear me? You hear me? And then they broke up.
And then they broke I mean, he had a lot of market share, but whatever.
Hey, you know?
Yeah, he was famous. Shit.
So you guys signed the Flight Time.
Yes.
Pretty
Lifetime
Brown
Perspective,
Eyes
yeah.
is a smash.
How does that
Didn't
feel,
start
though?
out that way because the first
So it was a slow burn.
slow burn. First single was "Are You Free," and as John Lewis put it, we still ain't free, you know, from that one. But so stuff was going. Then we put out "Pretty Brown Eyes," and it did all right, but it started stalling. So we decided to do. We're trying to figure out what to do to bring some attention, to really get people to pay attention to it. And so we went out on this Winnebago tour. It's bare bones, and we decided to do all the HBCUs and just go around. And we put together a contest, and, you know, somebody could, you know, I could put together a video. I think somebody and Morgan State might have won, I think. And that was really pivotal, that right there, because that really planted a seed. And it's been a love affair with the DMV specifically ever since. You know, there's two places where it popped off, there in the Bay Area. Those two spots was what
Hot
put us
biz
on
for R&B.
Yeah, yep.
To this
Absolutely.
day.
Yeah,
To this day.
to this day. And so doing that really put us on the map, and, you know, doing all these different shows with people, and that lit the match right there. You know, that's what got it going.
So when you get this record, and you know it's legit. I got me a hit record. We got a smash. What do you buy? Because I already know, listen, it's 6 of y'all in the group. When y'all first got y'all advance, you ain't probably buy nothing. Because,
Right, yeah,
you know what I mean?
I was
Probably
yeah.
holding it, but then when the hit record comes,
But the hit record, and now y'all,
Now
you know, the show fee go up.
the residual, somebody might have offered you a publishing deal, lump sum,
all
like,
that. Yeah.
You had to get something cool.
It was at the time. I remember these Isuzu rodeos.
Yeah.
I remember I had some big wheels.
So you bought your
big
dope boy truck.
It was pretty much. The pimped
You
out,
bought one too?
Yeah.
My first car was a blue Isuzu rodeo
Ah,
with a
what?
black crash bar on the front.
You didn't know you was
What?
really Stokley.
I
That's
didn't pay one note.
You was really Stokley.
That's wow.
I didn't pay one note.
Wait, you ran off on the...
I ran as far as I could. I ran as far as I could. Listen, let me tell you something about that car. That car has a lot of memories, man. I remember.
Okay,
I remember I was in that car and I was coming back with my girlfriend at the time, and we was gonna go to the movies. I was like, I need to stop by my house and just grab something real quick because I was kind of staying with her. And I walk in the house and the phone rings. Me and her walk in the house, phone rings. I'm like, oh, let me get the phone. Get the phone. I was like, hello. She's like, yeah, we're looking for Darrell Babs. I was like, hey, hello, who's this? This is such and such financial. We'd like to speak with. I was like, oh yeah, he ain't here right now.
It's like,
He said, do you expect him back soon? I was like, yeah, he'll probably be back soon. You know what I'm saying? He'll probably be back soon. Can't put a time on, but he'll be back.
can't put a time on it.
He's like, he hit me with this. He said,
Slip that in.
okay, I'll wait. I said, what?
Wait.
Yeah, I'll just wait. And I looked at my girl at the time. I said, he said he gonna wait.
Damn. He said,
And I was like, and she was like, hang up. I was like,
cool leg.
and I just hung up the phone, right? I was like, he wild. Talking about he gonna wait,
Uh-huh.
right? So I was like, let's get out of here.
Oh,
Walked outside. I was like,
Gone.
What? Wow.
They told you why
That
you
was
talking
it.
to
Why
him.
you took? You like really?
they was
That's
talking
funny.
to me outside my
Right.
house.
Knew that. Oh,
That
that
is
is
great.
Taking
funny.
my car.
That's great.
Well,
That's-
they car.
They car.
Their car.
They
Right.
car.
That's
My
hilarious.
Isuzu rodeo.
Stokley's car.
Yeah, man.
Double tier stand, PV amp,
Okay.
PV and XP80 keyboard.
Oh my. What?
Every church in the city.
All right.
Wait, they took your keyboard too?
No, that's what I
Oh,
used to
I'm
take
about
around.
to
with-
say,
Take it
damn.
right. Like dang.
Yeah,
That's
they did.
hardcore.
They
Dang.
took your keyboard too, or at least throw it out. This little punk ass
yeah.
musician, throw your keyboard out.
No,
the car.
man.
that's how I used to roll everywhere.
That's crazy.
So that's what you
Susie
got.
Rodeo, that pimped out windows.
Yeah.
I used to get stopped all the time. They're like, oh man, you stop me anything. You know you can't have it. The windows are dark. I know. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, but that was it. Matter of fact, 3 of us had that car, and we just pull up the studio. It's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Y'all was like the Cash Money brothers in
Cash
New
Money
York
Brothers.
City. Yeah. I respect it. I
was
respect
like,
it.
all right.
I respect
Yeah, we
it.
was in there. So yeah, that was the first like purchase like that. Yeah.
Was there any, like normally, like, you know, there's an influx of love for sure, but was there any like unexpected love, like where maybe like Prince called and said,
Did he
"Guys
like
really-
y'all now?"
You guys really did something with that, man," or somebody.
I think and throughout the years after that, what would happen is, you know, he's very competitive and, you know, but he had a lot of love and showed us so much love, you know. But at the same time, like we knew all of his, all the people, his band members. So I used to play with a lot of them.
Yeah.
So I would hear certain things like, you know, Jimmy and Terry think them niggas is Earth, Wind, and Fire. Like what? But then I
Why
heard
did I
that
see Prince when he was doing that though? He had to bop and everything.
there when it's fine.
But then I guess in rehearsal, from what I've heard, I've been told that he would do something complimentary or say, you know, we're going to do this like man or whatever. Something I would hear
Wow.
stories. I'm like, wow, but
that's dope.
yeah, but he was always, you know, later on got to hang out, started becoming friends and becoming a little bit closer. He was just always just complimentary, man. Just really a real dude. Amazing. Nobody, one of the coolest geniuses to ever do it, man.
Yeah.
You know, to see that, to blaze that trail and just relentless with his art, with his craft, you know. And I mean, to the point of, you know, he didn't have to, like when I started doing the solo stuff, this is probably maybe a couple years, a year or two before he passed, somewhere around there. He's like, well, when are you going to do something? I was like, well, I'm been working on, he's like, well, can I be a part of it? I'm like, I will.
Wow.
You know,
face.
what? Yeah, and he just bring me what you're working on, and we'll figure it out from there. And that almost happened.
Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, that was. But these the cats, that DNA, that musical DNA is in me as well. And that's he'll always be celebrated, man.
For sure.
Something, yeah. So yeah, man. But
so I have a question. Welcome to the Mint Factory. Interlude. Why? Why did that was you and Chris Dave?
Yes, Chris Dave.
Why? Okay, when did Chris Dave come? How did that? Let's go there.
So we were doing Black College Tour, HBCUs, trying to get the song up the charts. And Jelly Bean Johnson was the drummer for the time. At the time, he co-produced our first album. So, but he used to come on the road and play guitar. He also plays main guitar, crazy. And so, at the time, I mentioned Michael Bland would play with us, play drums, right? But that's right when Prince took him, did this thing. So we had another amazing drummer, Craig Dion, Frios, friend of ours. So he was playing with us. We were still looking. It was kind of like the interim, but he was still killing. And so we're at Howard, and Jelly Bean goes in he comes back and, yo, I just heard this kid, man, in one of the practice rooms, man, killing. I'm like, really? Okay. So you get his number. He's like, yeah, I got it, all that. So need to check him out. And so fast forward, we're doing the Disneyland grad nights. You know what I mean? We do the one out in Anaheim. We do the ones in Florida. And so I remember I called Chris. We were out here in Anaheim. And I was like, yeah, what's up, man? He's like, yeah, man, I'm trying to get with y'all. I was like, I think it was this second year I didn't even graduate. I was like, okay, so why don't you do this? Send me, I told him a couple of things to send, just like some examples of what he could do, different tempos, different genres, but just see how flexible, how deep he could go. And send me that killing. And then that was it, man. Invited him up, and the musical love fest started. Been my brother ever since, Stayed with me, off and on for a long time at my place. We'd have him on retainer at the time. And so we could just rehearse, because that's our thing. We just would rehearse and rehearse and rehearse.
That was one
long
of the illest.
Hours. Yeah.
I would say even interludes of all times.
Thank you, man.
I mean, because I was a drummer first.
Yeah, of course.
And then I started playing
sense.
keys, and then I started singing, and then no girls really scream when I played drums. So
right.
It's like I probably should.
Let you take your shirt off or something. Shirtless
I
drummers.
hadn't graduated to take my shirt off yet. I had a breast on me yet. You know what I'm saying? I was like 135.
You still had the chicken on you.
I had the chicken on.
The buck.
That thing said, "Welcome to the Mint Factory." I said, "What is good?" You had us. When I say you had us, because we had a band. I mean, we had a band. We had a few rival bands that we would play against, just with all the choirs. And you had every band in D.C., Maryland, Virginia, every church musician in a choke hold.
That's
and
crazy.
then you said,
yeah.
Oh, what is happening?
Wow.
You kidding me?
Wow, man.
And then we blunk, 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 blunk. I said, who's playing steel drums? Why are they playing steel drums?
And now it all makes sense.
It all makes sense.
That is funny. Wow.
I was like, why would they do that? It was so unconventional and so cutting edge. It was like the future of band music. It was we had never heard anything like that before in our lives, and we were in a chokehold. We would steal all your licks and put them in church songs. All of them.
We all borrowing. That's what
I
we
played
saw
during
recycling.
offering. Pretty brown eyes during offering.
I play pretty proud.
Absolutely, absolutely.
During offering,
Because the girls at church knew what I was
They
doing.
knew the song. Yeah.
The girls at church knew.
Wow.
Yeah. So y'all changed for me, everything. I changed everything in between you guys, and John P. Key. That band structure of just being tight.
Yeah.
Like, cause I'm a pocket player with everything.
That's everything, man.
I'm pocket with everything. I'm all about placement. Like I'm like the right chord, and then if you run and like don't do that last note. Like just they right there.
Placement.
Placement.
Yeah.
I learned that from y'all.
Yeah.
And then you go in here. And,
was there anyone else that sang on?
Rick sang. He sang a lot of some of the high stuff, and we were good with like block harmonies. Just blocking and the intricate stuff. I would get in there and do that. But we really got good at doing a lot of block stuff, and after rehearsing, and doing show, you get to know, everybody's level, and we just got in there and did what we did well. You know what I mean? Play to our strengths, and the stuff that wasn't as strong. So we try to figure out different ways to maneuver.
What type of rehearsal schedule were y'all on?
Well, we used to go. It was a full work day. You know what I mean? A lot of times. So
y'all doing 8-hour days?
Pretty much, if at least take a break. But it was fun.
I was about to say because it's shedding too.
Exactly.
So you just get together and y'all just see the instruments and you look up and it's like 9 hours later.
That's and that's what we came from. Like all of that stuff with me and Chris. That was just us shedding. Just what was that? What is It's so funny because I look at the stuff and how drummers play now, and I look back at the stuff we were doing in the basement, just messing around. I'm like, wow. It's just how funny how it just evolves. But that just came from let's just put this together and let's do these drum calls, back and forth. And I'm going back to my childhood, the drum and dance, all these calls, because I'm looking at how dancers, and I was kind of saying, let's try this. Here's what I used to do, and blah, blah, blah. And his jazz background, so we just kind of fuse all that stuff together, man.
So was it he was a bar behind you or half a bar behind you?
What do you mean?
In the intro. What was that? How did y'all do that?
Well, there was a lot of counting. So there'd be some stuff we do together.
Okay.
And like that, we play that together. And then I play like some triplets, and then he's playing 30 seconds. I'm getting technical, whatever.
No. But
so, and then we decided, okay, we're going to pan you to the right. I'm going to be to the left. That kind of thing. So if you looked at the stage, we used to, I have a drum set up there too, and we would do like the double drummer thing. So that was just like, it was just natural. I'm like, I'm a drummer, you play drums, we going to play drums, it's going to be on the record, it's going to be on the show, and, people are going to enjoy it. And so it was fun, man. We didn't know, you don't know what you're doing sometimes, it's just you're doing what God gave you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And hopefully people, you enjoy it, and hopefully people are with you on it.
Man,
so it resonated.
I'm going to go blast Good for Your Heart.
Shout out to Kerry Lewis. KL.
So who came up with that drum pattern?
That's Kerry. It's Kerry. Yeah, he's funky, man. Yeah, he's funky. And a lot of things we would take just the samples from just drums, just hit the snare. Like if you listen to You Send Me Swing, it's another Kerry Lewis composition. All of that, man, was just like this live snare. Yeah. And I love intros and endings. Let's put this here with the major seven just descending.
So music.
A little bit. I know what I like to hear.
Yeah, Warren mean? Just left here just talking Greek and Japanese like that, like you're talking right now.
What?
Just
that's a whole nother language.
A whole nother language. I don't know what that is.
I just what I like to hear. And it's like I said, that's a little bit of theory that I do know, and I'll implement it wherever I think it needs it. Yeah.
You had no idea y'all was changing the world.
Who knows? Whoever knows that. You know what I mean? You do what you do. You have a gift. You grow it up. Your skill set grows, and one person likes it. It's like, it encourages. And you don't know whose life you're changing.
Was it a Janet tour you guys went on?
We did. So
I remember that too.
Yeah.
That was the second album. So the Tonys were coming off, and we found out we got it. Was like maybe we had like 10 days to get ready. We're like, oh, what? Maybe less than that. And I was like, oh, hell, okay. Well, how much time we got?
Was it Velvet Road? What was it? Which one?
No,
was it?
This was, I don't even know the name of the tour. I don't.
Okay.
But she had the song like It. And, that phase. But yeah, man, we had a great time. I was like, man, okay, how much time do we get? 30, perfect, because we used to kill like 30 minutes.
That was your sweet spot.
That was a sweet spot because we used to open up for people and that kind of thing. So we would have it, together 30, 35 minutes, and put together a little killer show. And we used to, with not good for your heart, but the we used to just come out with it and just kill it. Do our little band shit. Yeah, all of that, man. And get in there, get out the way, and just watch her show every single night. We missed one show. Just if we had another gig or something like that.
Oh, y'all would stay and watch every night?
Every night. It was just the consummate professional. I mean, just to see on that level,
crazy, somebody
to do that. I'm like, okay.
It's like what the kids have now with Beyonce.
Definitely.
To be able to watch that level of, like you said, professionalism, perfection.
Absolutely. Real see what it takes. Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? It's like it's not a joke. And they put
everything has to work.
It's intentional. That like they mean to do that shit on purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not an accident. So yeah, that was really a great time to see all that, man. It's like, oh, okay. So that's more we taking, put it in the arsenal, I'm taking that, put it in my arsenal, because for me, this is a musician, like I had the best seat in the house because to be produced by all these gentlemen, from Mint, it's like it was that's what I call it Mint University. It's Mint U for me. It was like, man, I got to see the perspective of each one.
By the time y'all got to a finished product, my God.
Yeah. That's what we call it the Mint factories. You take it as far as you can hand it off to the next assembly line kind of thing. So these things I was just getting, this is just jewels for me.
But to me, it was still like, because it could easily, with all these musicians and all of this talent in this room, it could easily go too far.
Right. Right.
Oh, for sure.
I think that's what I always appreciated about Mint Condition myself, because I'm not a musician. Obviously, they say singers are musicians, but
absolutely,
I play an instrument.
Yeah.
Right. So I appreciated the fact that it was digestible to me, because, like Tank said, so many gifted men in this group.
Yeah.
So much. Knowledge of music that it's overload at times.
True.
It's overload at times. I never felt like that about Mint Condition as a band.
That's good to hear, because I mean, we would hear sometimes that I think I maybe read one article. It was like a little bit of self-indulgence there, and I get it. As musicians, we can we're getting into our thing, in our bag, and we were always kind of aware.
Being too talented.
Yeah, it's a bunch of different, yeah, for sure. And to go over, people said you want it to be relatable, but I think we just wanted a healthy balance of like, okay, something for me and for you, you know what I mean? Because we have to stay interested too. This is why we got into it. So, but we learned the art of melody is king, rhythm is queen. You know what I mean? And fusing the two together, and we figured out. We got really good at trying to fuse that. We really one of the best compliments. The GOAT, Mr. Stevie Wonder. One time we had a show here, and he couldn't come. He wanted to come, but it was for another competing radio station. And so he wanted to meet with us later on that night. We're like, absolutely. This is when You Send Me Swinging was out. And so we went. I remember we were at the La Montrose. And waiting there like 12.
We all know that.
Yes, that was the spot.
They give you the cookies when you
12. Yes, all of that. They had some good oatmeal too. Yeah. And 12:30, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Finally get up. It's like, wow, but I didn't care. Whenever we would probably sleep, like, let's go. Wonderland Studios, and it was just amazing. His whole presence, he just walked in. I swear he was floating.
Yeah.
He was like.
Yeah.
Is it really good to meet y'all? I was like, wow, man, this is crazy. And he's like, yeah, I love your voice. And how did you know I was me? Yeah, it was just like this whole thing, man.
Don't start this.
Directly to you.
Don't start this.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
It's real.
He's got sonar.
It's real.
Stevie Wonder can see starting again.
It's real. It is real. I mean, and that, because he went we're all kind of
Y'all
lined
be
up.
egging Tank on, man.
I'm telling you,
No,
that's
it's what
sonar.
happened.
He can hear, and based on what he hears, those vibrations
He came
will tell him if
directly
things
to
are
he came
close.
directly to you, Stokley.
when he
Tell him
got
things
to,
are
and then no one
far.
told him anything, and it was just like, I was like, oh, good, man, I love your voice. And probably when I said that, he's so in tune to,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
the timbre. You know what I mean? He
can
was just
hear
that
it.
quick.
Yeah.
Just blew my mind. So we go into the studio, and mind you, the whole time, I'm just like paralyzed, kind of. I mean, I'm there. I'm walking. I'm listening to the stories, and you know. And he starts playing stuff, and I just froze. He's like, "Oh, he's just a little shy." But I was just, you know, this is
Stevie
all this
Wonder.
fair and love. I'm
It's Stevie Wonder.
boogie on regular. I'm like, all this stuff is going through my head. And I'm like, I can't even move, you know. But he starts talking about, you know, you guys are doing something really special. It's really hard to be really musical and make it relatable, like you're saying. And that was one of the biggest compliments. It was like, so to me, there's been so many people in the industry like him. We feel like we've got a few Grammys. Because just to get
Just
that,
that conversation.
back,
Yeah.
just blew our minds. And that stays with me to this day. And like every time I see him, it's like the first time again that I meet, you know. It's like, wow.
You can never meet Stevie enough times.
No, it's always, you know.
just don't
like,
get used
it's
to that.
magical. You don't, yeah. So,
Oh, that's dope.
yeah, man. So
That's really, really dope.
So
Yeah.
how do you? Is it a smooth transition from mint condition to just Stokley?
it's the funny thing for me was I was expecting a moment where something for me to feel like, oh man, there's a big hole here. You know, other than missing my brother's faces, you know, I think everything prepared me for the solo thing. You know what I mean? I truly.
Were there
mean it.
people that were trying to get you to do a project early on?
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, you know, people always want the opposite. When you're in a group, they want you to do a solo thing. When you're doing a solo thing, they want you to do a band thing. When you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always that, you know. But yeah, for sure, between every album, they wanted that, you know. But I was really focused on. I was like, I can't always do a solo thing. I think right now, I knew that we meant more
Together.
Together. It was just a bigger thing. And then there's a bunch of solo, you can do that all day, you know, but I think this was special. And then it was bigger than the music too, it was bigger than us. I think what we represented as musicians, as black men in an industry, that you don't see that a lot.
No.
Solid. Absolutely.
No, and
You
like
know,
you
so-
said, you guys came at the tail end.
Came at the tail end. So
So
I mean,
people were, you know, cutting back and the whole
yeah,
thing. Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so we were defying the odds and really pushing past all these detours and shit that probably, you know, somebody else it just wouldn't have been that way. But I just by our sheer will and musicianship and just wanting to just bulldoze through it, you know, that was the thing. But I think all that the Mint University prepared me for these moments that I have right now and gave me everything. And even before that, in the groups that I've been in, and this is the first time where I have really just focused on myself.
Right.
Because I've always been a person who just like divvy up the time, talent, and all that different, that kind of thing. So
Was You Will Know the first song you sang on outside of Mint?
Mint condition.
I think so.
Because it felt to
Yeah.
me like
Yeah.
me listening to it.
I think so.
Because I was like
Wow.
just like Tank, I was a huge fan
thought
of
of
Mint
that,
Condition,
yeah.
and I just remember your voice sticking out. I'm like, wait,
Completely.
that's Stokley.
Yeah.
Wow. I think so.
And I felt like they put you on the perfect part too on that record.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
that part just
we shout out to Brown
just-
McKnight
it
because
just stuck out.
Yeah. Wow.
And I remember hearing the record, and I'm like, I think that's the first time I heard him
Outside of.
outside of the group.
Probably
Because you hadn't done any
I hadn't-
features or any
yeah.
other things
You're
like
right.
that, right?
You're right. I never thought about it that way. Yeah. Yeah.
I love that record too. Though.
Yeah.
I love the
Yeah,
You
me
Know
too.
record.
That was
yeah.
it.
Shout out to Brian.
That was a legendary session.
That
It
was
just-
like "Are We Are the World." That was like the Black Man's
It was.
We Are the
Oh
World.
man, if y'all could have
Killers.
been in the room, there was so much
Killers.
magic. D'Angelo's thing hadn't come out yet, and he was previewing, you know, and we were just like,
Oh, he hadn't come out yet.
Oh yeah.
no. He just composed that song, and you know, he was on keys, and it was amazing. It was just that session was crazy.
that's dope.
And you hear El DeBarge over here, and it's like,
So
Elders.
were you guys all there at some point, like doing it together?
we were all there. At that was it. What you see,
Uh huh.
the only people who weren't there who who else? There was one person who wasn't. They phoned theirs in. I can't remember. But that was the session. They brought all the cameras. What you see is what that was it. So that was the magic of it. It was just like so in between takes, and after we were listening.
What movie was that for? It was for a movie. Yeah.
Was that? I don't know. I'm forgetting what the
movie was that for, man. I gotta look it up. I gotta look it up. Yeah, I gotta look.
Yeah, because it became its own thing to me. You know what I mean?
Was it a movie?
But you will know. I thought it was.
Was it Jason's Lyric?
I thought it. Yeah, I want to say Jason's Lyric.
Jason's Lyric. Right?
I want to say Jason's Lyric. I may be wrong. But that song, I love the record, and it was great to hear you on something different too.
Yeah. So I mean, I think you're right. But that was an amazing moment, you know, of brotherhood and just, you know, just all that amazing talent up in the room.
Yeah.
It's like, I wish we would have that more. As like, man, we need that kind of thing just to, you know, one
and
good
you
time.
were able, and they were able to get everybody that was in it at that point too. Like,
yeah.
Like they got all the top guys.
I mean, if you look at it, it really was. It really was. That's what was so special.
D'Angelo.
What's that?
I said written by a young D'Angelo.
That's right. A young,
Jason's Lyric.
Jason's
yeah,
Lyric.
it is Jason.
It was.
Yeah. He hadn't even come out yet.
Wait. So he wrote the song by. Brian McKnight didn't write the record with him.
No,
I thought it was him and Brian McKnight.
No, Brian, I believe he was the MD that day.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I was
music because Brian probably could have been.
So D'Angelo's album's not out yet.
No,
he's a new guy.
He's a new guy. New guy with these braids. Like, yeah.
So who put that together?
I don't know who put it together. I got it, you know, a call from, we did it at Capitol Records. And, I got a call from, probably from somebody at Perspective Records at the time. Mm-hmm. I'm like, all right, I'm in. Let's do it.
Yeah.
You know, showed up and everybody, just the camaraderie. It was just, you know, it reminded me of the R&B version of that great Harlem jazz shot, you know, that picture with all the jazz greats. It was just kind of like a video version of that to me, smaller version. If you know, and what we didn't do was get a picture all together. We should have, you know, but I guess we got that on the American Music Awards. That's live video. So, yeah, but that was a moment, man. That just amazing talent, and you know, the more that I think about it, you know, because you're doing stuff and you're moving, so you keep got your head down and your legs is moving, and till you look back at a moment like this, like wow. You didn't realize how special it actually was, you know. So, yeah.
As now as you're, you know, moving and grooving as a solo artist, you know, get your number one single, you know, on your own, you know, doing your own thing. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
Congratulations,
and
brother.
doing features too.
Because
we jumped over some features that he did after that too, though.
Yeah. Let's not jump. Get into it. Let's not jump. Then.
Come on, you and Kelly Price.
Come on now. Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's a real record.
Jeez, oh my goodness. And Brother Warren, you know, you know, he was like, you know, I guess as the story goes, he can tell it much better. But she's like, I want something that sounds like Mint, and you know, well, you know, why don't you just call him? You know, and that's what happened. And then we just kind of, what they had was they just gave us the piano, Warren and his amazing self, all of that, and then the vocals. And so Lawrence L. put his version of what Warren did, and you know, just made it just great. The record that you hear right now, we put all the stuff around it, the vocals, and but the song was written and really, really well written. Kelly's a beast, as we know, with the pen game. It's
absolutely
that's my dog.
Somebody say shout out.
That's my dog.
Yeah. Well, from Warren and Kelly. Kales.
As you navigate, as we navigate 2023. Not just the business, but the musicality. Do you have feelings about the way, you know, in terms of how you were able to be musical, of course, also tasteful back then, but you were able to be a different kind of musical in those days versus what do you feel like you can be now?
I think it's wide open, as Jay said. It's kind of Wild West. That's the good part of it. I think I really do think it's wide open. There's a bunch of fusion happening. You know, like fusion has always been here, but I think it's happening such in a different way. You got, you know, everything's been trapped out for a minute, but people are fusing that with so many different other genres. You know what I mean? So I think it's wide open. You know, when people talk about like the R&B, like, there's no good R&B and all that. I think if you look at it from the perspective of how we used to look at it, you're not gonna find it because it's not on radio like that.
Yeah,
Right.
But there's a lot of incredible people out here.
Absolutely.
You just gotta go look for it. It's online. So
Yeah.
the older generation, they're
way more
they're-
discovery now.
It's more and more
Yeah,
discovered.
you gotta
There's
discover
it's out here. There's a lot of amazing people. So I always tell, I was like, no, don't say that. There's a lot of people out here.
I think
We're doing
people
some
don't
amazing-
want it. Like the internet has made people lazy.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean,
You know what
that's
I'm
not
saying?
even that it's made people like people have always kind of been lazy,
Yeah,
but I mean,
yeah,
things
true.
were spoon fed to us.
Right.
It was like, this is your hit right now.
Yeah, right.
There can only be one Michael Jackson. There can only be one Prince. There can only be one. There can only be one. There can only be one.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where now it's just that, you know, and I've said this before, even from an executive side. There were executives who used to stand in the way of artists who were like the artists they had.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, you sound like who? Yeah. Y'all make money with that.
Yeah.
Right.
With them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not signing you, or if I do sign you, I'm going to tuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where now, Wild West,
Yeah.
even more,
Yeah.
it's like, wait, this kid, they definitely sound alike, but they just do different music. They got
Right.
different, it's a different song. You know what I'm saying? So now it's just more wide open. It's more opportunity.
And not only that, it's dangerous for an artist because we can grow now. That, I mean, just no telling what that artist who sounded like somebody else would have grown
Could have
into.
become.
We all start out somewhere, you know, influenced by something,
was
someone. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I was definitely.
We wouldn't have, you know what I mean? It's-
You don't got Tank.
Oh, you're wrong.
you know, people,
you're right.
they didn't know. I remember when Pretty Ronnie, they couldn't figure, is that Face? Is that Stevie? Is that, you know, and they had the Rashawn Patterson. Can we talk about, you know,
Rashawn
that's another one.
Patterson, similar texture. For sure.
Raphael CD, I got all that, but you know,
you would go ahead.
so you know what I mean? It's like we all even. So it's just speaking to that. That's really that was a horrible thing that used to happen, and you're absolutely right. They used to happen all the time.
Happens to a lot of
Man,
artists.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, man, I think it's wide open right now. So that's the good part. You know, we're just trying to figure out how to figure out the business, how this works. You know, because the streaming is different now. Everything just the way that the sum of everything, you know, financially is different. So, but we're gonna get there. I think the more that we know that we have to be a part and be engaged in the technology of what we're creating. We can't just be the day of just being, I just want to do the music. That day's over.
No.
You can't. You have to be
Got to get involved.
multifaceted.
You gotta do it all.
You know?
And I also think that too, we can't skip the steps because of technology, right? And so I think, especially for singers and true performers, like it's got to be a Winnebago tour. We gotta.
It's gotta be a Winnebago.
We gotta go
Something
see the
like
people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like we'll do it all the time. You know what I'm saying? When we were building, it was like, all right, we just got to go see the people. The bag ain't what it's supposed to be.
That's right.
Gotta go see
That's
the
right.
people.
Yeah.
You know, it's only 600-700 people.
That's right.
But we need those 600-700 people.
That's also the cool thing for artists who are established,
Right.
who continue to make current music. Is that you're continuing to build your fan base, but you're also supplying this feeling and this music that your core base already loves, and you have someone there to sustain you while you're building up.
Right.
You know, when Tank and I decided to do business together from the artist management side, because obviously we were writing and producing together early on, but when we decided to do the business side of it together, we had those conversations of like, so listen, bro, you can go out here and do shows, and that'll make sure that, you know, the lights don't get cut off for us while we find this next record. Because that's a tougher space to be in, honestly, especially for R&B artists, not having, you know, that catalog and being able to go perform in these cities, in these states, in these countries, in these different places around the world and make money.
Yeah.
You know, like you have the luxury of what you've done before. He has the luxury of what he's done before, so it can sustain you until that when we comes to your number one cup. So you know what I mean? Like this is just a different thing. And you know, I always, and Tank as well, we always talk to fellow artists and fellow, you know, people who've been in this game for a long time and tell them, like, just don't stop making music.
Right.
Don't stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
As he be lying, talking about he retired now. But, like, don't stop making music because your fans still want to hear it. And the people who haven't heard it, they need to hear it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
My son needs to hear Stokley. My daughter needs to hear Stokley. You know what I mean? She needs to grow up on that as well. But also current.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I can play her the originals and then and the stuff that you had before, but your voice is still pristine.
Right.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? And you know, you're still making great music.
Thanks, man.
Why not?
It matters.
It matters.
Yeah.
It matters. And that is the way that we keep this thing going, in my opinion. Because, you know, everybody always wants to have the youth movement. Yes, we should have new artists in the youth movement. Yeah, we got to have that. But as black people, especially, we got to stop aging ourselves out. And we do it to ourselves.
Yeah.
To ourselves.
I'm playing basketball the other day, or I'm not playing because I got hurt, but I'm at my run with my nephews and them, and it's so funny. I remember being the guy, like this one young boy that was in the gym. Every other thing was, old niggas cheating, or old niggas. I'm like, old niggas kind of working you in here. But it's just something about the black community.
And age.
We
like new. It's like we're too good for ourselves. You know, it's like we leave everything else to everybody else to document what we do, right? But we're too busy creating it. It's like we're on to the new, the next, the new, you know. So we leave ourselves behind. You know what I mean? You're absolutely right. It's very, it's frustrating because you see other cultures don't do that. I mean, you got Mick Jagger out here still.
Come on, man.
Yeah, we can name so many.
They treat him a whole nother way.
Deal.
It's
crazy. We're talking to Sean about about Boys to Men and how do you ever figure a Boys to Men would get to a place where they could barely get 700 people in a building?
That's dumb.
How is that even possible that you could discard Boys to Men? You know what I'm saying? I mean, with their work ethic and their catalog and all these things, they've built their way back up to high six figures, man. But,
well, of course.
But
yes.
How does that ever...
Right.
How is that ever allowed to happen?
Yeah. Well, nobody else lets that happen to their people.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't let that happen to their people.
So I think platforms like this, man, is going to help. I really do.
That's
you know
the
what I
point.
mean? This is the whole thing about.
And then it's like other things that we want to connect to it, like the festivals and all these things that unite, that bridge the gap between all of us.
Yeah.
It should be all of us,
Absolutely.
and then it should be who's the young people. It should be Ari. It should be her.
Yes,
it should be, and then it should be Chris Brown.
Love the record with you and her.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Love that record.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorites.
It should be all of that.
Thank you.
It should be all of it. You know what I mean? And where we have the kids all the way up to the 60-year-olds.
Yeah.
It's funny because and you probably experienced this too, when the first time I went to Japan. And
I've never been to
Japan. When you go, it was interesting because it was intergenerational. And we're sitting there and I'm looking at the kids, their parents, the grandparents partying
together.
Like, wow.
And we could do it. And we can do it.
Absolutely. There's something about it's a bigger question, a bigger discussion about your elders, because we're having a problem with, or there's and the disrespect. This goes in a whole different area, but it's kind of in there with that. It's really we got to get a handle on that, man. But I think getting the information out and letting it's like they're still worthy of it all, man. People who've been here, our Isley brothers. That's to some people they're like, well, that's our Grateful Dead. You know what I mean? They've been here. You're talking about Twist and Shout, what, the 50 years, 50 something?
Golly.
Come on, man. Yeah. That's a career.
That's different.
Versus some of these kids want to have like you know,
it's a lifetime.
That's a lifetime.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's a
lifetime of music.
Oh my goodness, man! And to have that kind of catalog, I mean, we can all only wish, you know, and pray for that. That's the whole point, you know. But as you're talking to as far as preparation with not just the music, the money side of it, the performance side of it, all that, we have to know these parts. You know, the technology. Yeah, the technology moves any industry forward. If you don't learn that, information.
We have to share the information amongst each other, and that's a big reason why, you know, we're here and why we've done this labor of love.
Yeah, man.
You know, we were fine doing what we were doing.
Of course.
This actually takes away from some of the stuff we were doing.
I'm sure, but
this is very important.
But you're giving back so much.
This is very important to us.
Watch. I mean, you guys don't even see it yet, but it's like I've watched this whole thing. I'm like, this is when you first. I'm like, well, it's R&B Money. Okay. I first started what Diddy was saying something about R&B is just no, it's not. It's it's not. There's a lot happening, but
you just gotta go where it is.
You gotta go where it is, man. There's a lot happening.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talented people, and they want the information. You know, I talked to my young son too. It's like, look, man, you don't just want to have a moment. I'm trying to prepare you for a career. If you so choose to do this, like just because I'm doing, you don't have to. You know, you're gonna go through different changes. So, but you got to have the information. You got to prepare for it. Yeah, just like anything. Music is it's the whole thing about this thing is really interesting. Like to be a lawyer, you have to go past the bar. You can enter at any stage in music. It's crazy. It's a horrible thing. It's beautiful and horrible at the same time. You know what I mean?
It's beautiful and horrible.
You know what I mean?
Sometimes it's ugly ass.
Yeah.
You don't need any formal anything.
Right.
We talk about that. You can come fresh out the penitentiary.
Yes.
And get a record deal.
That's right.
Or find some talent.
That's right.
And now every executive
is on your phone.
On your phone. They're like, you know, Pistol Starter got this artist that we about to sign. And we giving him $8 million.
$8 million.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
Man, that records is crazy.
That is
it's the music business.
It's the music business.
The music business is real estate. But even in real estate, you got to take a real estate license.
Yeah,
you got to get a license.
You got to get a license.
You don't have to have a music
Nothing.
license.
To do anything.
Nothing.
Especially now.
You get a computer, people thinking, oh, what's this program? Oh, it does it for you. You know what really gets, I don't know if this, you know, me and my son both talk about this, like they have these, you don't even have to learn chords. Theory, schmeary, press this button, it does. I'm like, wow, is that good? I mean, I understand, I get it, but.
As they say, smartphones made us dumb.
I'll tell you like this though. Here's the crazy part.
Wow.
It makes some of the playing field even.
Yeah, but that's the good part.
But in the wash,
nothing
beats real talent.
No,
yeah, man.
Not at all.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, when you look at them, when you look at the arenas,
does it translate? Because it's virtual versus reality, and you know, at some point, it's got to cross over.
When you see Beyonce,
yeah.
Oh, got it.
There's a difference. Yeah,
got it.
Yeah.
When you go to Vegas and see Usher, you're like, okay, that's what
you got to put in. And I said, man, the easiest way, because you know, kids are looking for what's the easiest way. The easiest way is to do the work.
That's it. I told my daughter that.
Yeah.
I just told her that a couple mornings ago. I said, listen, we can do all the cool stuff you want to do. Just do the work.
Yep.
There's nothing. Daddy grew up without because that was just, you know, it's our financial situation. It's what it was. I say, but you're in a privileged position to where you don't have to.
Yeah.
You can have all the fun you want if you do the work.
Do you find because of that, what you have, that it's a little tricky to navigate? Because just from, you know, you want something better, but then obviously they have a lot of things that you didn't, you know, so it's.
I have a balance. I have a wife.
Yeah.
That is like So my daughter's like, Dad, I need $500. I'm like, sure. She's like, you ain't giving her no $500. So
yeah.
I ain't give you no $500.
yeah, Mama said I can't give you no $500. We'll talk later. You know what I'm saying?
Meet me around the back.
Meet me around back.
By the bathroom.
By the bathroom.
That's crazy.
So my wife is my balance.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Because I would absolutely do too much.
Mine as well in certain areas. Yeah, so that's definitely got to have that. But it is a constant balance of like, yeah, I want to give, but you're not gonna learn the value of work and having something for yourself. You know what I mean? That's really important. I think that's what the kids they want it now.
Yep. Yeah.
Everything they just see it right now. Yeah, you want that, but you don't want what that person went through.
Yeah, you don't appreciate anything you haven't worked for.
Absolutely.
That's just how it goes.
Yeah,
that's why I always feel like I don't want to. We talked about that too. I don't play the lottery.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't know what I would do with lottery money.
That's a weird.
Tank plays the lottery all the time. That's why we talk about that and we laugh about that. He thinks he's going to win because he speaks Spanish. He's like, I speak Spanish, so I gotta win the lottery.
Don't I got a better chance of winning the lottery?
Mexicans don't win the lottery.
No, but seriously though, I always feel like if I won the lottery, I would probably do some fuck shit. Because I wouldn't appreciate it.
You didn't expect it. It's like you didn't work for, you know what I mean? It's like,
but my money that I be earning?
Yes, that's, yeah.
Take your time with that.
What?
Right.
Take your time.
It means something.
It means something.
It's like, you know what I had to do for this month? You know what I mean? I had to wait a long time to get here. Yeah, man.
Stokley,
that's real.
You know,
that is real.
while you're here, we want to get into your mind.
Oh,
get
boy.
into the Stokley.
Lord.
Your top 5.
Oh, Lord. Don't do
top
it.
5.
Don't do it.
You got to do
top
it.
Top 5.
Don't do it to me.
Top 5. Who is your top 5?
Oh,
Who is?
don't make me do
Who is your
it.
top 5?
Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it.
Tell them who it is. Tell them what you seen. And you tell them what it is. Your top 5. Your top 5.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Y'all just became
Dead or alive.
Dead or alive.
Top 5 R&B singers, dead or alive.
Yeah. Y'all, y'all the new meme of the two R&B niggas trying to out-sing each other. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about too. When they got like this, the comedian did that. Y'all that now.
Great.
Y'all that now.
Oh, man. Oh, Lord. This is always people's.
Come on, man.
You know
it's
there's too many.
yours, brother.
It's yours. Your person.
It's yours.
Yep.
This is in the moment right now, just because whoever I can't think of, there's no, man. Top 5 R&B singers. I gotta say, you know who I loved and got a chance to hang out with him and tour with him, Gerald Levert.
Ooh, come on, Gerald.
Joe Levert is definitely, and
Gerald
people always
Levert.
don't think of you. Ever think? I've spent some time, and he's just
a monster.
The teddy bear.
The teddy bear. He's a monster.
Roll around on the ground, but he can. And why I say that too, just because I've seen him perform so much, and it's like he's always consistent.
Yeah. I've never seen him miss.
No, and I remember this one time backstage, he was doing something. We had a show together or something. He was like, "Oh man, I'm tired, man. Let me go on here, roll around on the ground," and he just hit it. I was like, "Oh wow, that's I mean, it was so Gerald, you got to put Stevie in there.
Yeah.
He did so much. Luther's another one.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Tone, placement, articulation. I mean, just
Classic vocal.
classic vocal.
Yeah.
Tuxedo vocal.
There's a vocalist that it's not really R&B, but it was very much like you talk about tone. I'm just gonna say, I like the Carpenters. They're like pop R&B. You know, it was yeah. If that's kind of like maybe a side, a subtitle.
It's like a garnish.
Yeah, look,
Like a nice
little garnish.
Yeah.
Did you call him cilantro?
Cilantro tastes good. If you,
A lot of people don't like cilantro. It's too, yes, but yeah, if you listen to, what they
it's
do,
pieces in there that are like,
oh man,
just great. You're like, oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Karen Carpenter, drummer too. You know, she played drums.
I didn't know that.
Yes, yeah, there's some old footage out. Who else? So I said Stevie Carpenters and Gerald Levert. Who else, man? So there's two more.
No, it's four. You did us. You did
One more.
No, he only has one more.
Yeah, you got one more.
You did Luther.
Y'all wrong for this.
Nah, man, it's
You're
right.
right. We are right.
But you right.
We are right.
You wrong, but you right. I will have to go with oh man. How do you even Young Michael?
Ooh.
I love Thriller.
No.
Like,
no.
you get what I'm
You
saying.
ain't saying nothing wrong.
Okay, yeah.
You ain't
There's
saying nothing wrong.
But that was what we grew up on. That was the influence. That was just so
How young was Michael when he sang?
right. Whose soul was that?
Who do that? Who does? He's too young to do that note like that.
Like, what you've been through?
He thought he pouting with his note. He don't know about pouting. Who are you? Who
Well,
told
all
you
that
this?
attitude. Like, what?
Get this attitude from, boy. Like you've been in a relationship before.
And it wasn't no Pro Tools.
It wasn't no Pro Tools.
Come on, man.
Come
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough right now. With technology.
I feel like, for lack of a better term, he dumbed it down as he got older. He made it he made it fully digestible.
Well, no. And I want to go a step further. He abandoned being a singer to become a stylist. To
Okay.
create,
I could see.
Okay.
to create a style of singing. Because had he just been a singer, he'd been a great singer, but everybody's a singer. There are very few people who are stylists who actually create something so unique that if anybody else does it, it's like, you trying to be like Michael Jackson. You doing that Michael Jackson. Like, there's no way you...
Right. Yeah.
That can do it. Like, there's...
Yeah.
Hey, bro, you're really good at this.
Huh?
Yeah, right.
No,
You went from young to old Mike too, like, bro.
Yeah, right.
Hey,
And they're pretty flawless.
Did I do
that
that
shit,
yeah,
dog.
yeah. It's like,
your shit.
Tune into the R&B Money Podcast, man. I do nice shit sometimes. I can't count worth a damn.
you can count enough. You know
Hey,
that?
but you absolutely right though. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And it was the genius in
That's
him
true. Yeah.
to do that. Like,
Yeah.
to as a purist, completely abandon being one of the best singers out.
Yeah. I mean, it's arguably Michael Jackson and Stevie, one of the best kid singers of all time.
Are you kidding me?
Right. Yeah.
And a sprinkle of Tevin Campbell.
And Jasmine Sullivan. I can't forget Jasmine Sullivan was 14 singing like that, so I can't.
Tevin
Yeah,
Campbell,
she was
can we
already
talk?
grown.
I mean, come
yeah,
on.
Tevin. Yeah, he's another one.
Come on now.
He's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a different league that they all are in.
For sure. That kids league was
But
strong.
they all stayed true to their vocal. Mike, he
when
veered off
left.
into another.
I mean, he's an alien, though. I mean, you have to figure. I mean, just his upbringing, just the time that he was born, everything. There's nobody like that ever.
I just want to know why. I wish. I pray, because that is like the day we were supposed to go see him. That's when all this, and he had invited Jamie to go out there. We were rehearsing with Jamie. We were supposed to go out there, and I was like, I hope I get to ask him why. Like, why would she told me, girl, and
Right.
Yeah.
So much passion in that, man.
And percussion.
Very much. He
so
was,
much
he was a drummer.
percussion
Very much.
in that. Why
Very
would you
much.
do that? Because I remember Genuine was singing. We were doing TGT, and Harvey was in there, and he was like, "Yeah, just ad-lib." And Genuine was going. He's saying, "Da da, oh yeah, and Harvey was like, what is that? And so he stopped. He's like, man, like, what makes you do that? And Genuine didn't get it. He's like, man, that's just why I sing, man. What you saying? Like, he thought he was this. I said, no. I said, gee, he's like enamored
by
the fact that you have your own ad lib.
Yeah.
Like that nobody else. He's like, Harvey was like, what made you do that? What made you create that? Like, I love that. And I was like, he's our stylist. I was like, that's why I was like, when I was in with Harvey and we were formulating the background structure, I said, Genuine has to lead because he's our stylist in the group. He's the guy that's going to make us recognizable.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, you're a stylist.
Yeah. You got to have those, what they call a sonic icon. Sonic icons. Yeah.
Sonic icon. Yeah. Thank you.
It's a bar.
Oh, I just stole that.
I just stole that.
Yeah.
And this is Stokley's Sonic Icon. Ooh, that's an award.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's an award.
Yeah.
You will receive first, and then you
man.
give to the
give it to them.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Man. But Mike, I want to say his intention, even like with his steps, sometimes they weren't hard, but he, just that, just his intention was like.
He commanded your attention at all times.
That passion.
Yeah.
So, and he had it when he was a kid, so that is very influential. So I definitely had to say him. That's.
You said young Mike too. You really
you went there.
I got to say too, as far as Beyonce, I love all the stuff she's done. Something, the way her voice is now, after the kids, because when the voice
after Lemonade, Beyonce got different.
Yeah,
man, the tone of it.
Yeah.
It's just so much.
It's more seasoned.
It's more seasoned.
And I think she's a pristine and curated artist. You know what I mean? And so with a lot of big artists, it's like things are protected and things are like let's just let's keep it here. You know what I'm saying? It's very. And I think that Lemonade album, she let us in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And let her hair down.
That's right.
Yeah.
You could feel that.
You could feel it.
All the other stuff was great too.
It's amazing.
Because we knew when she was young. It was like, I remember hanging out with I don't know where we were. Prince, matter of fact, she was still on the come up, kind of like we were talking about something. And I just remember him say, "Yeah, did you hear that Beyonce?" I remember that. Just that.
Just
so
like
that was gonna be something special.
You
know what I mean? For him, it's like, wait a minute, that Beyonce.
And I think people, I have this argument all the time. Like I'm like, you guys don't know the half of what Beyonce is capable of.
I get that.
She got way more in her bag.
Oh,
you don't.
You know it. You know it. You know
of what
it.
she's capable of.
She got way more
because we know the instrument. We can hear her.
That's right.
Let's build it correctly.
Yeah. That's right.
Because if she really let loose, when she did that Etta James,
come on.
So y'all, now you're gonna get a glimpse, just a taste. Yeah. What this one? Okay, here we go.
Before we go there.
Yeah.
Before we go there.
Yeah.
Stokley. Super Saiyan of vocals. This you are.
Yes.
To me, to him, to the world of us. When you see, I won't get you in trouble a bit. When you see a top 200 list and you don't see your name, and I know you a humble guy, man. I know this, man. I know. Know this, man. You're a humble guy. That don't piss you off.
If I got something on there that I think is deserving, but I realize that it's not, the game.
I know.
So it has nothing to do with my art and because there's songs I'm like, okay.
Not songs. Singers. 200.
Singers.
200 singers.
Oh, you didn't see the list?
Yeah.
The list of. I didn't.
Of the 200.
That was comp. Was
when they do these, make these lists of.
Who was it?
No, not comp. Rolling Stone.
Rolling Stone.
Oh, when they do those.
Put out a
those
top
lists.
200 best singers list.
Like, who's making the list?
We don't know. We don't know these people. They're hiding.
A
somewhere.
YouTuber. I don't know.
They're hiding somewhere.
No,
but I'm just asking. When you hear about these lists, and you don't, like. and you think to yourself like, this person can't out-sing me.
To be honest, I don't really take those lists too serious. You know, it's just
all right, man. Cause
I don't. I mean, if
I'll
it's
be mad for you.
But yeah, I appreciate that. It's like, but no, I'm sure I'd be like, well, you know, obviously this is, you know, I don't know what somebody else is listening to say, you know, yeah, this he don't even qualify for the list. Okay,
We're gonna fix all of that.
Yeah, so hey,
Start making our
how about
R&B Money.
the new R&B Money?
R&B
There we
Money
go.
is going to come out.
They can be
Top
mad at
100
us.
singers.
They can be mad at us.
That's right.
Top 100 singers.
Because I can tell you why I put my
You better believe
list
it.
together.
And you can fight
Right,
us
right,
if you
right.
can beat it. You can fight us if you want to fight us.
He buck. He
Fight
buck.
us. But we're gonna take control of, because there's no singer made that list. Singer didn't make that list.
Right.
I didn't see the news. Really?
Somebody from the cloth did not make that list. And if you are not of the cloth, you are not qualified to make that list.
Yeah, this is not baseball.
Wow.
This is not baseball.
You don't get in off the writers.
Right.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Nah, the people,
Yeah.
players got to vote you in.
Right.
That's
the
all.
way it
I
should
just-
be.
All right.
That's all.
That's the way it should be.
all.
That's an interesting question.
That's
Yeah,
all.
that's
Yeah.
All right, so here we go.
Yes. Wow.
Your top 5 R&B songs.
Oh Lord, I don't know. I don't know no songs, man.
Yes, you do. Yes, you
You
do.
know
You
some-
got
I know
a
you know
gang
some.
of them too. So you know some
You
songs.
got your history.
Al Green, Still in Love,
Hey,
Okay, quick.
quick.
because that was, you know, vocally that. And my stuff will be kind of all over the place. Tiska the Tasket, Ella Fitzgerald.
Wow.
Just because, yeah, he's one of my favorite. House Not Home, Luther.
Yeah.
Just we know what that does.
Come on now.
Man. Now I'm drawing. Where do I go with that? What's it? That's only 2 songs, right? There is.
No, you got 3. You did 3.
Oh,
You did 3.
Again, I'm going back to my. God dang. I'm forgetting the name of the. It's on the Dancing Machine album. I'll go with something else because I need to give you all a title. How about for me, I do like Prince's Beautiful Ones.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
just something, the emotion in that
Yeah.
that just took me somewhere. Still. Would it be I don't know, man. I gotta now you got me on the spot here. I don't know.
One more. That's all you need.
This one song.
This one song. Freddie Brown Eyes, man.
I was waiting.
Yeah.
I was waiting.
Even, you know,
No,
it's weird. Even though I sang it,
I'll take it.
It's not.
even though I sang it,
So
Listen,
what?
You know what I mean?
Listen, I'm gonna invite you.
Just
I'm
saying.
gonna invite you to a doo-wop. Okay.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
to tell about the doo-wop.
I'm gonna invite you to a doo-wop. Mike
right.
Gardner, a fly guy. We go around the country and do some of the craziest R&B parties.
Oh, R&B all night.
R&B all night for 5 hours,
whoa.
and you will see
What that record
what
does.
that record does.
Yep.
Wall to wall,
Every time.
every
Wow.
time.
Wow.
It don't miss.
How it come in, Tank? How the song come in? How it come in?
What are y'all doing down there?
Oh Lord. Oh my God.
You better go to bed. Shut it up. Bang, bang, hey,
Oh my goodness.
hey,
Oh Lord.
shit.
I was going to say it's another song that's not out. It's on my latest St. Cove, but it's actually one of my favorite right now. It actually is. It's called Verbalize with Snoop's on it, just talking shit, whatever. But I just it reminds me of like the Dramatics or something like that. Like did it like more like in the 70s style. That is like, I mean, when I put it, it's just now again. I can like take myself out of it and be like, man, I really like this record.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
from a spiritual side. I mean, so yeah, it's on a new Sankofa. So if you ain't checked it out, it'd be the next single actually.
Yeah.
But it's
Come on, shout out to Singers.
and I've been telling him, it's like, no, I really like this song.
Yeah.
You know.
Go what you feel.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's
What we got next?
We're gonna do R&B Voltron. Okay, so I need to know who you're gonna get the vocal from, who you're gonna get the performance style from, who you're gonna get the styling from, and who you're gonna get the passion of the artist from. So let's start with the vocal. Whose vocal are you snatching to make this?
Y'all are rough.
Yeah.
Damn.
Trenches.
I love it.
This is R&B Money.
Okay.
R&B Money, yeah.
Okay, so the vocal. That's the first one?
First one.
God dang, man. I can't do a hybrid because, oh, man. Okay.
You Stokley, man. We let you,
You can live.
if you want to do a hybrid of a vocal.
If you wanna
you
blend.
Stokley, brother. Like, we not arguing with you about no singing.
I'll just say, so I can cover all of it. Stevie Vandross.
Stevie Van Dross.
That's my first.
That's about to be some new rapper. Be like, who? You ain't heard Stevie Van Dross?
Stevie Vandross, nigga with the perm. You see him?
Why you got a
I just feel like that makes me feel like you got a perm.
Stevie Van
Stevie Vandross, he got these iced up grill and a perm. Nigga.
He iced up grill the perm.
Perm.
I'm signing him.
He's like,
I'm signing him.
he's like Big Worm with a record.
His debut album, Principalities.
Okay.
Stevie Vandross.
Principality.
Great.
All right, so that's the vocal. Yeah,
That's
the
great.
hybrid. I think you get the tone, you get all the other stuff and musicality. Yeah.
Who are you getting the performance style from? On stage, what they do on stage.
Okay. That's a good question. My answer is, God dog it. I'm gonna have to go with sorry, I'm taking y'all can edit this maybe. It's like taking too long. Prince and Sammy Davis.
He's really making a hybrid Voltron.
That's
Think
great.
about it, because you talk about performance. You know what Prince did? He's great. Sammy Davis is the template. He's the blueprint.
For everyone.
Trumpet, drums, vibes, piano, comedian, dancing.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
What more? Come on.
Yeah. He's the first Jamie Foxx. He's the first Jamie Foxx.
Come on. Right.
Did it all. He did
everything
at a high level.
At a high I mean,
clip.
At the
for
highest
a
level.
long time.
Yeah.
Actor, I forget, just all of that. So, but knew how to entertain.
Yeah.
You and then Prince being a modern day version of that.
Yeah.
So I think both things are covered.
Styling. That show drip.
Who got that dashiki on, man? You told us where you came from.
Kamasi Washington be killing it with the dashiki. He be coming, if I don't know. That's a really tough one because I like so many. I'm pretty eclectic. I could drip with a suit or something funky, some asymmetrical cut or some kind of Afrofuturism. You know what I mean? That's a tough. Where you get the drip from? Whatever I got on, it's got to have some. I got to have some AF1s probably. Just to. But who would? I'm just gonna go with a classic, and again, I got to go with
You're from Minnesota.
Huh?
You're from Minnesota. I'm expecting something wild.
I mean, the obvious answer, somebody gonna say Prince or something.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, there are parts of that I do like. Some stuff I probably wouldn't fuck with, but you know, like I just sidebar. One time we actually something we got done doing the with Prince, the Call My Name on the Musicology album, and we went to Sony and watched the Jamie Foxx thing. It was like, oh, this is Oscar after we did the video, and went to some club. And Prince was like, yeah, such and such. And when he used to wear these little lit up shoes and everything.
Prince did?
Yeah, Prince, yeah. And so I'm like, he was like, yeah, man. Yeah, man, you have to get you some of these shoes. I was like, only you can wear them, man.
You said it like that?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's you. He just like, and he just cracking
Prince
up.
had
like,
the Heelys on?
well, yeah, like the lit up LA gears.
LA
I mean,
gear joints?
I said, only you can wear them. That's you. They look right on you.
Anything different looks right on Prince.
You know how to, you wear it. You know how it's like,
He owns it.
you own it. You know, some
You
people.
need to
Yeah.
get you some of these.
So you get some of that.
I can't do
I
it.
said,
I can't pull it
you
off.
can wear them. I don't think I can pull it off, man.
Things of that nature.
I thought that was funny. So yeah, some stuff I you know.
Right, I get it. I
with
get
him, yeah, I love the fact. What I do love about him is his ability to just like, he was fearless with it. He wore his art. Mm-hmm. I like the idea of that, you know, and no matter what people say, it's like, are you looking up? You know, there weren't some questionable stuff, not really crazy, but like, I used to change my hair when I grew it out and all that stuff. I don't know what person that would be. I guess he would be in some ways, yeah. But then I have the just classic side, like a Sammy Davis as well. I do like that. Suits, just well tailored. You know what I mean? You talk about R&B, you talk about like how James Brown is like, they had a certain way, certain air about them.
Yeah.
You know, suited up.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll say James Brown, because I think he embodied a lot of that, a lot of the pride.
He mixed all of that.
He mixed all of it,
Even
yeah.
what things that Prince
True. Yeah.
eventually
Yeah. So
grabbed
JB
from.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
JB,
James Brown was he
Yeah.
was out there with it.
Yeah,
All right.
for sure.
Who are you getting the passion from? Soul.
I got to go back to Mike again when I think about intention and passion, and just everything we talked about. This like feeling it. You can see it in his face.
Intense.
Oh yeah.
Intense.
That you know what I mean. Just
He fired a
that
nigga while he was singing with ad libs.
Yeah, you know.
I said he fired a nigga while he was singing with ad libs.
It's
What
like,
you gonna do? And what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Like you fired.
like, you know, like damn.
It's time to go.
Oh Lord.
That was great.
Man, I wish EDD would have been out back then. He sang to that nigga. Yo, EDD.
Hey, that was great. Okay,
Yeah,
that's,
man. So yeah, that would be the passion, because I still, when you think about him, you talk about styling. That was what made all that. Shimona, just his attack.
Yeah.
Nobody attacked music with that kind of passion.
No.
You know, I don't care how small the part was or the dance move. It's like the way he did it was intense. That's what I love about it. So I mean, Mike.
That's incredible. That's incredible. But before we get to this, we got to shout out Minnesota.
All right.
We got to shout
Minute.
y'all out, brother. Like,
Talk
because
about it.
I
Appreciate it. Talk about
really believe that they don't put enough light on how much talent has come out of
There's a lot. Yeah.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
From obviously it starts with the Prince and the Time and, Jimmy and Terry and Mint Condition, but then next.
Yeah. My guys.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's some really special talent
right.
from
Around them.
Minnesota,
Yeah, I mean,
man. Like,
yeah, like I said, it was a breeding ground, man. And there's so many people that, we cut our teeth, so many little different clubs and things like that. It's just like so many amazing people. I hadn't been out in a while. The other night I went out hang out with Robert Glasper, and I took him to this club that I used to play. I'm like, man, I ain't seen them in there's a lady there that sounds like fresh off. She's been this way for years, like Shaka. Then she white, but she's soul sister, just ridiculous.
Going crazy.
But I mean, so many people like that have really
Yeah.
helped shape me, and so many other musicians and people like RL and it's amazing.
Is Robert from Minneapolis?
No. He's from Houston, but he was had a show. Had a show. Yeah.
Nah, I just wanted to shout y'all out, man.
I appreciate that. Thank you, man.
The light don't get shined on Minnesota enough, in my opinion.
Thank you, man.
But we got a very important segment of the show. Yeah. Come on, warm up the piano. Man. I ain't saying no names. Yeah. I ain't saying no names. So it's called I Ain't Saying No Names.
I ain't saying no names.
Yeah.
Where you been? Who you with? What you did? And what you ain't? I ain't saying no names. I ain't saying no names. I ain't saying no names.
So in this segment, as you've seen on this show, because you watched the show,
Yes.
you tell us a story, funny or fucked up, about something that happened to you, during your time in this business.
Not.
Only thing, ain't no names.
Ain't no names.
Everything else, though, I mean, listen, you can identify things in people. You just can't say their names. They must remain nameless. Story, funny or fucked up, or funny and fucked up.
I don't know. Some stuff is funny to me. I have a weird sense of humor. And,
We all do.
Announce it.
it may not be funny to somebody else, but in the moment to me,
This is the legends, the legend, Stokley, mint condition, Minnesota's own.
Minnesota's own.
Oh, Lord.
I ain't saying no name.
Oh man, I wasn't prepared for it. I watched the show and I should have known this was coming. I should have known this was coming. I would have had something together. I'm trying to think of something dynamic. Because I've had so many great
cameras are digital.
I've had some great moments.
The cameras are digital.
Then yeah. And then y'all be like, his segment was whack as shit.
Oh, they gonna be on you if you don't give us
I
something.
know.
That comment section.
That's what I know.
All that talent.
That's what I know. They ain't give us nothing.
We know Prince stole one of his girlfriends.
Oh man, tried.
I ain't saying no name.
I ain't saying no name. We, how you get to it. There's still this competitiveness with certain people, especially if you don't know them, and I think folks, there's an air about them if they don't know you.
Yeah.
Or they think they have I would have an air or something like that. And this gentleman we were on tour with, or had a couple shows with, and Mint, back in Mint days. And we just got the vibe that it was just real, just being real kind of fucked up, like not giving their on, doing the sound check and whatnot. And we're just waiting. And it was like a theater. I'm just waiting, kind of thing. And the thing about us is like the more fucked up you treat us, you'd be like, okay, that's one, that's two. We just counting it up like, okay, this is good. This is good. And so you could see that this dude was he's seen us out there, waiting for the sound check, right? And he was pretty much dumb, just waiting, just sitting around talking, sitting down. And would start up some music. It's like, well, who's next? Who's coming up? And he knew we're sitting right there in front of him. And like, yeah, I don't know, man. Let me do another song. It's like, really? Okay. Door's about to open, that kind of thing. And so, but at some point he was just like, oh, whatever. Okay, just get the other band up. No, we'd had some hits out at this point. So put the other band up. We just took that like, okay.
He sent all this over the mic.
Over the mic. Yeah. Wow. So it was amplified.
Oh, yeah.
And it was amplified. But to us, we were like, okay. And at that point, we were so rehearsed. We would rehearse everything. We would rehearse like sometimes we were going to do that sound check. And we were just tight as a drum. I would do one little thing. We just like, it would stop. Or dynamics would go up and down, all kind of stuff. And so we did something like that we'd rehearsed. And then that pretty much changed the energy in the room, And I was like, I thought that was interesting because after that, all that shit came off. All that artificial posturing. And,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
You know, all that's like, you know. So it was fucked up to me, but it's, you know, you may not think, but it was, I remember that, like, but again, no names. Some of the fellas probably know, I'm sure.
I'm sure they know.
Sometimes you gotta show, improve.
Yes.
Like, you think? Oh, okay.
Yeah, right.
You think shit's sweet.
You don't know.
Right, yeah.
Somebody didn't tell you.
And that's kind of where I was then, because like we were younger and hungry, just like, okay. And had that, you know,
Killers too.
You know, we're going for the edge. You know, we had the net shit on, man.
I was hoping that y'all burnt those.
Was that?
I said I was hoping that y'all burnt those.
Oh yeah. The always was way after. Yeah, I'm just saying. But we had that mentality to like, okay, we ain't going for the edge like that no more. But putting it inside the music, and so you know, anybody who's coming like that, just okay, all right.
I've been there, and
You
it's
know,
just
you know.
It's just like, okay, listen, your song is hotter than mine right now.
Yeah, it's okay.
But don't think that I'm not him.
Right. And we didn't care about like record. We could not have anything. My whole thing was like, we're just gonna get you off of what we do, performance. That's it. You can not know who I am, and I still try to perform like that to this day. It's like even if you don't know, it's like, you know, I don't care if it's 5 people, 10 people, you know, 50 people. You got to get. They came here. They paid their money.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing you got to have.
Yeah.
You know, going forward.
I call it. You're gonna remember the night you played the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna remember.
I like that. Mm-hmm.
I don't care what I don't care what's going on.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other part too about being a musician and being in a band. It's just too many cheat codes.
It's too many.
Too many cheat codes. Like niggas gotta leave y'all alone.
Leave them alone.
Leave them alone. Leave them alone. So y'all the band that be kicking niggas' ass, but then y'all got the singer that's in the band.
It's just not cool.
That y'all can't out sing.
It's not cool.
No.
It's not cool.
Nah, leave them alone.
It's not cool. Stokley, my brother. Man, we gotta say thank you, bro.
Man.
And we gotta say thank
real.
you, not just in this moment, man, but for all the work that you've put in.
Yep.
Thank you.
You have been absolutely an inspiration. You have been study material.
Wow.
To all of us becoming who we are. You know what I mean? And being able to take advantage of opportunities and to be in this business, man, as long as we have, bro.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like you've helped us do that.
Oh, thank you.
You know what I'm saying? And every time I've met you, every time I've been able to shake your hand and share energy with you, share space with you, it's always been amazing energy. And I learned that from Genuine, and it continues through guys like you that continues to remind me that is the right way to be. That is correct. And that's how we're gonna keep doing it.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. This is amazing. I'm telling you, y'all keep doing what you're doing, man. This is really more amazing than what y'all know. It's like you're gonna start seeing residuals, not money, but I mean it's bigger than money.
Yes,
what
sir.
y'all are doing, man. So, and whatever I got, man, I'm giving to everybody out here, and just we gonna keep shining. Y'all keep doing what you're doing. You inspire me. You know, I see you out on the road doing stuff, man. Hear your records and just everything y'all are doing, man. This is R&B Money, baby.
Yeah. Hey! Yeah. Well, then on that note, I am Tank.
I'm J Valentine.
And this is the R&B Money Podcast, the authority on all things R&B. And in the building, we've had someone dear and special to our hearts, man. The amazing, the incomparable Stokley.
Sankofa.
Go, bye.
R&B